morning, everyone in Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Tuesday, May 21st, 2013.
Welcome, everybody.
This is Irv Martinez, DB here, Derek Brad, along with Ed Makers Karaoke Ironbinder here. Anthony is not in. He's going to a award. Well, he will be online, I should say.
Yeah, he'll be on as Tara London. I want to welcome Yurak. You're the man.
And Three Bears.
And Three Bears. Wonderful, wonderful. What a day.
Yes.
It just started.
Mm-hmm.
What time did you get up?
I got up around like about 8 after 6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about. Yeah. That's about the time that I got up. About.
No, Anthony's here. He's
where is he?
Oh, okay. He drew him in.
Oh, there he is. You know, that actually looks like him. I swear to you. It kind of does. This quirky smile.
Yeah, I was.
15 minutes ago, you got up, huh, Eric?
Normally I did a quick exercise tape of P90X, or at least until I just got out wind and I said, man, screw this.
Is it working?
Well, yeah. I mean, you know it's
the best machine at the gym to use is to get the chicks.
What?
The ATM.
Right. You're right.
That's right.
Morning vocal bite.
Use the ATM.
But that only depends on that only depending if you have money, of course. It's kind of like when they talk about
Dude, if you can afford to go to gym, you better have money.
Well, yeah. I mean,
cheap.
Well, yeah. I know. I mean, hopefully not everybody. I wish everyone you could afford the Planet Fitness one where you pay $10 a month. Like, geez. That is a bargain. That was a lot more than what I used to pay when I had to go to the gym.
People do like 40 years ago. I mean,
they plowed.
They pushed their goddamn lawnmower. They got up off their fucking ass and changed the goddamn TV channel.
Yeah, they didn't. Well, of course, because they didn't have. Well, remote controls weren't invented yet. It wasn't until the 50s.
That's right. We're in a fucking lazy ass society.
Yeah, speaking of lazy, Vorbabite. That message that you said yesterday, I hope all socialists die a slow and lingering death from cancer. That was you. You're asking who is that posting remarks in my name. That was you. But welcome once again.
What was that about? I missed something. What happened?
He's just saying, who is that posting remarks using my name? But glad you're all here. I'm sure that today is the day that Anthony will not be here. He will be on chat as Tara London.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, yes. Well, that is interesting. He says, look, yeah. Well, maybe it was before you became a mod, Vorp.
What happened?
Well, there's something with his name, Ed. I told you that. I said, Vorpabite is saying that somebody is using his name.
Oh.
And, but you're right, it doesn't have mod on it. And, I don't know. Maybe somebody wants to be like you, Vorpabite. Using and stealing your name. But we know there's only one Vorp. Welcome, Mr. Dumpster Baby. He's on now. We got a lot of news to talk about, especially these tornadoes that are going on in the Midwest. And I'm a little concerned that they may hit. I remember that we had some tornadoes here in Atlanta a few years ago.
Yeah. Remember I mentioned the Mother's Day tornadoes that we had back in 2008 during the Mother's Day weekend.
That's right.
That was
and
like 5 years ago.
It actually affected some of the towers there and, some of the big skyscrapers, the few that we have, of course. But some of them were damaged. And when I was living up in Lilburn, I could look down the highway and actually see the boarded up windows. And that stood for a while. I mean, like a year later, they still hadn't repaired the windows.
Right.
You know, so it was pretty devastating. And So my concern is if it hits the town.
Good morning, Saibuki. How you doing? Saibuki just dropped in.
Hey, Saibuki, what's going on? We got Dumpster Baby, of course, and Jews just popped in.
Yes.
Welcome, Jews. Welcome back. Jews hasn't been around for a few days, no? Since last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is Tuesday. What's the weather like again?
Weather like it's so far right now it's like 66 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. Hopefully it may be sunny today, 66 and sunny with a high of 88 and a low of 67.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's
the people across the country really care about that. Because
yeah.
Well, just in case if
they decide to come here.
Yeah.
That's pretty low. That's pretty low. Hello, Tower London is on.
Approximately 300.
Your ass should be over here, but hey, what are we gonna do? Another day off. But welcome all, and once again, I want to start this out by the obvious news story that's hitting everywhere, and besides the tornadoes, it's the tornadoes.
Yeah.
The tornadoes that are hitting the Midwest are pretty scary. I mean, they have one that I believe Ed has a video. He's about to shoot out. But if you take a look at this thing, I mean, it's got to be a mile wide.
Jeez, what the...
And it's got to be...
Damn it, Derek!
Damn it, laptop! Jeez.
We're talking about tornadoes and that happy music comes on, just doesn't work. Derek, that's not a good sound bite.
I know. There's just they always try to pop in these little commercials and stuff. I wish we were getting paid for putting these commercials in, but
oh, perfect. That's a perfect, Ed. That's exactly what we need. Well, yeah, Dumpster Baby, they're saying it could have been 2 miles wide and over 200 miles an hour.
Yes.
So that would be considered Category 5, although the news always screws it up. Says it was Category 4. Some news organizations are saying 80-mile-an-hour winds, others 150. And there was one that actually said 200 miles an hour. I can't remember which one. But I think it was 200 miles an hour. That thing just shredded everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least from what the highlights that I know that at least since it is breaking news, this says the 20 children are among the 51 victims in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So the death toll could hit up 90 and up. And President Obama declared the major disaster, disaster area in Oklahoma. There's more than 120 people that are being treated in hospitals. I think Ed has the video already. If let's see, already has it queued up.
You have it queued up?
I'm getting it queued up.
Okay, he's getting to it.
Okay.
Well, for the time being, Three Bears says it was of F5.
Yeah, F5. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in case. Cat 5 is what they use. Category for hurricanes. F5 or the F scale is for tornadoes.
Yeah.
Because tornadoes are land.
Donnie Curry's on. Hey, Donnie, welcome. Good morning, buddy. Was Donnie on yesterday?
No,
he was.
No, we missed you, Donnie. By the way, it's Saibuki. It will sound cold, but it's not like it wasn't expecting Tornado Alley in tornado season. You're right. But I believe last year, there weren't as many tornadoes as the year prior to that. The year before that, it was pretty bad. But this is one of the worst I believe has occurred in that area. I mean, we had one year where it was really bad also.
Yeah.
Where it ripped through the town, you remember? Some towns were devastated.
Yeah, in Alabama.
In Alabama. But, Alabama has shanty houses. I mean,
Well, yeah. What can you say? It's, the Gulf Coast, particularly in the South, is part of that tornado alley. And I think Macon had some tornadoes last year, I think. I want to say last year, because around 2012,
What Dumpster Baby says the problem is with the area of America is so flat, those guys need some man-made mountains. Wow.
But I don't know if you put mountains on there, they'll stop it. I mean, because I mean, say if they're man-made. Man-made things don't usually last that long. I mean, unless they're pyramids or Stonehenge.
Put a bunch of pyramids around.
Big Stonehenges all around Tornado Alley.
Ed was talking about how it's a possibility that it's a government conspiracy creating these weather patterns.
Mark's been fucking with the weather.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, you saw what that thing looked like. Could you imagine we could control something like that and just guide it to wherever we want it to go? You couldn't fight it. How could you fight it? There is no way to fight it.
Yeah, but
you can't shoot at it.
But the thing is this, though. If you can control that, how come it's only been happening here in the United States? Why not any other country?
Just like in the 50s, they're testing it on us.
Well, I think it's where that area sits on, as the world turns, so to speak. I think that area has that kind of...
well, let's see what the viewers think.
Well,
Mr. Dumpster Baby says the problem with that area is so flat, those guys need some man-made mountains. Well, yeah.
We just said that, but...
Yerrick says that pre-dawn emergency workers search feverishly for survivors in the rubble of the homes, primary schools, elementary schools, and a hospital in the Oklahoma City suburb ravaged by a massive Monday afternoon tornado. They said may have killed up to 91 people and injured well over 200. Wow, I thought it was just 120, so it's up to 200.
Yeah, Saibuki says, build things out of more solid things than wood. Do you get taught the story of the three little pigs? That's true. I mean, that it's funny you mention that because I live in a brick house. This thing is solid.
It's minding my tab, just letting it all hang out.
Yeah.
The roof's still going to be wood.
Yeah, so it could rip the wood out, but we'll have a nice.
It's like a bomb shelter.
We'll have a nice sunroof.
Yeah, that's true.
Solid, covered in brick, top, bottom, all around.
Well,
we kept our liquor there too.
Yeah, well, Saibuki, realize that brick is a lot more expensive than wood, right? I'm just saying because we're talking about tornadoes. It's not the most affluent areas in the country.
Yeah, but brick holds up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ed. I think their house is made in Puerto Rico out of cement, and they go from the ground. It's like think of a box. Like a bomb shelter. That's what they're made of. I mean, literally. You have the foundation made of cement, and then you have the walls made of cement, and then you have the ceiling made of cement. Everything is like a big cement box. And but even Donnie Curris says Dumpster Baby says rather the hospital was made of bricks and steel. It was torn apart. That's true.
Yurak posted a link to Weather Warfare, what we were talking about.
Okay.
Using the weather.
Oh, about that conspiracy that you think about. We'll look at that. Saibuki, reinforced concrete may be the idea in Tornado Alley. Absolutely right. You see that? I didn't even read that. I think that the cement with rebar, just make like a big... But that sounds like the Flintstones, don't it?
Yeah.
Remember the Flintstones?
Yeah. I kept thinking about it.
You were thinking that.
I was thinking the one episode where Fred Flintstone parked his car next to a fire hydrant, which was basically just an elephant sitting on a fountain.
Yeah.
And like police said, "Is this your car?" Yeah, it's part of the fire plug. Why you give me this ticket? It's part of the fire plug. And says, "Yeah, but I was the only one. You be there for a while. I'm just leaving." Yeah, but what are you gonna happen if a fire truck was here and there was a fire here? Then the elephant / fire hydrant started talking about what fires? Everything else is made out of rock. Ain't gonna have no fires. Bricks don't burn.
You bring that up. That was a funny cartoon, wasn't it? Anyway. Yeah, I used to like when the animals would talk. Some of them would be annoying, but they were funny. Warbabai said, "Oh, do you honestly think you want your kids locked in a basement with all the other animals?"
Children in parentheses.
And Saibuki says, "You would think all schools in the danger area would have had shelters for the kids." That's a good, especially in that area. I mean, this is where I said people are just stupid. They don't prepare, before all this happens. I mean, even Tokyo. right now has been building buildings. Of course, that didn't help during their last earthquake. But they took the signs of building buildings that are designed to withstand earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
In California, just started that a few years ago. I believe that they're on their way to doing that. But even in California, they were building buildings without, thinking about where they live. Shaky ground. Constant earthquakes there. All right, here we go. Chatters, that surprised me too, Boogie. Judas, welcome, Judas. Welcome, your mother is a hoe. Welcome back. Glad you're back. Ellen Macon is on. And Gamer Girl. What's up, Gamer Girl? Anyway, and Hawkeye, New Jersey is on as well. Welcome all. By the way, Dumpster Baby, Judas, it says, that's an asshole thing to say. There are babies dead. Okay. That's because Saibuki said if God had only been in the school. Anyway, Judas, I'm just pointing out the delusion nature of Christian religion. Okay, we're talking tornadoes now. We're not going to talk religion this morning because that only leads to a lot of bullshit being said, especially from Vorpal. Anyway, this is Tornado Alley. People know, people like to live in areas that are known to be dangerous areas. Like, I think of the people that live around a volcano.
Yeah.
I always wonder why people would set up town around a freaking volcano. I don't care if the volcano's been dormant for whatever.
For 500 years.
Who cares? I mean, you don't... And here's the thing, you don't have to live there. You have options.
Yeah, but if it's an island, where are they gonna go? It's not like they can. It's not like.
How did Christopher Columbus get here? Get in a freaking boat.
Yeah, but it was a big boat. They make canoes. I mean, they ain't like they got a Greyhound bus station over there on the freaking island. I mean,
That's well, let them swim. But no, I'm serious. I mean, folks like to, humanity likes to build shit. There's so much still land left over. But they like to build in these danger zones. I just don't get it. I mean, the one thing I like about Georgia, God willing, knock on wood, we've had our shit here. But you hardly ever hear about earthquakes here. I mean, we've had one recently.
Yeah, but it was like in North Georgia because it had like the mountains and stuff. Cause, Appalachian.
It vibrated like a car seat. I mean, it didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Like sitting in a car where you have that vibrating seat. It didn't do nothing.
Yeah, like basically it just gave you a massage or something. That's about it.
Yeah. Donnie Curry says, guys, what do you think about a better warning system? Well, yes, I think that they've upped they've really done a better job recently, I would say last 5 years, of putting out alarms. But what the hell? You're gonna set off an alarm and then you look around the plains of Kansas and where the hell is there to go?
Yeah,
I mean a lot of those areas are just so freaking open field.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's landlocked. It's a landlocked area. Pretty much. I mean, there's nowhere to go. I mean, water. Then if it's water, you have to worry about hurricanes because hurricanes, particularly like Florida, you really have to be on their, P's and Q's about that because you never know. And that's matter of fact, probably actually it started now. The hurricane season started around this time because usually hurricanes begat tornadoes. Like April showers bring May flowers.
Right. And Judas is still talking religion. Hey, Ed, my brother Ed is on. Yeah, we know that's the way it's been for a long time, Ed. Tornado Alley, I mean, you talk about it. It's probably been going on way before even humans were there. Mm-hmm. But, the point is that people continue to build in these areas, these flood zone areas, these, even California. I think it's crazy to live in California, to be honest. First of all, the people there aren't even nice. from what I hear.
Well, yeah, because you got gangs. Well, gangs are one thing, and then two, you got cutthroat people, and gangs and stuff. And that's not. We're not even talking about the producers and the cutthroat people.
Yeah, I know. And the fakers, they have fake personality. Anyway,
trigger happy police, and and then not to mention we haven't even gotten to the natural disasters. We're talking about the earthquakes, the floods, the fires, the mudslides.
The lousy laws, as Vorpabai says.
Bad traffic, 20-lane highways and stuff,
Yeah.
Not,
By the way,
permanent alimony. So if you,
Oh, yeah. Palimony they got there.
Yeah, alimony, yeah. I mean, permanent alimony where if your wife divorced you after being married for 10 years or more, she gets alimony for life.
Screw that.
I know,
and then, of course, that woman's never going to get married. She'll have a shack-up boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. And I know.
So that it doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
Anyway,
that's why Demi Moore wants to get some money from Ashton Kutcher, but that's a whole other story. That which really means kind of pissed me off. Like, what, she spent all that $50 million of alimony that she got from Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
By the way, Vorpabai says this $500 check. He's still talking about the laws in California. That's about the way it is in New York to buy a pack of cigarettes. Yeah.
Wow. I thought it'd at least be $50 a pack. Goodness.
Donnie, I thought you were born in Georgia. I guess I misunderstood you. But Donnie was born in California, and he says it sucks, but not everyone in California sucks. I was born there and raised there. You're the anomaly. You're the only one that's a cool Californian. Anyway, so, Ed, do we have that video yet? Anyway, we're going to have a video showing you the devastation. We're going to show you the swirl. It looks like an ice cream cone going across.
It made her hungry.
Yeah.
I've been waiting 20 minutes to play the video.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, get it going, my brother. You're the man.
Somebody wanted to know that
an ice cream cone.
Your mother, wants to know who the Asian stone-looking guy is on the left.
That's a picture of Anthony. He's just trying to look funny.
He does. He looks stoned, and he kind of looks Asian too.
He's like a nutcase.
Me love you long time.
It looks like his mouth is open for business.
No. Everybody knows Anthony does not go that way. But you never know. Anyway, so Tara London is on, and
video.
Yes.
Video. Check it out.
Late breaking news just from late breaking news.
Oops.
Hold on.
Oh, I like that, Ed.
Yeah, with Anthony gone.
Yeah.
But late breaking news just from the last hour. There are new tornadoes being reported in Oklahoma. We're going to give you a live look from what's going on there right now. This is the second time in as many days that communities in Oklahoma are picking up the pieces from deadly twisters. A second casualty from yesterday's storm died today from injuries he received when a tornado touched down and obliterated a Shawnee area trailer park. Today's outbreak focused on the small town of Moore, Oklahoma, where apparently 2 different schools have been hit. And we are looking now at live helicopter video that's coming in from there. Now, Moore, Oklahoma is the same area that was hit back in 1999 by an EF5 tornado. That's the most powerful tornado that there is, and it looks like that they have been hit by another super tornado again there in Moore, Oklahoma. This is going to be a story that's going to develop over many hours, and you can see there the huge amount of damage. And so, stay tuned here, and we'll have more throughout the newscast as that story continues to develop, and we get in new details and new information out of Moore, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Look at that. It's freaking unbelievable.
It's about a mile wide. Jeez.
Yep.
You see the little sparks every now and then.
Oh yeah, because it was like they were knocking down like power stations, right?
Yeah.
Power conductors.
You don't want to fuck with Mother Nature.
I guess they kept rewinding.
Hmm?
What's that rewinding noise?
What are you doing? You're in a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
The buzz? That noise?
That.
That's just because there's no sound. They're in a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
Maybe found on the video.
Man.
Unfreaking believable.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, some of the chatters were making comments. Sorry, Boogie says, I'm not sure I'd want to be in a copter. I was thinking that exactly that with all that dust and shit in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once again, people putting themselves in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, you know, when you take a look at this tornado and some of the shots that they were able to get,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe that's a good reason to do it, but I don't know.
You just to see what measure. Well, for one thing, to measure what type of category. Well, is it an E4 or E5? F5.
Yeah.
You know, but aside from that, I was telling Sabuki, like, people, you know, I mean, like, yeah, I know going and say, I mean, yeah, DB, money over lives is a crap ass reason not to. But the thing is, yeah, I'm quite sure a lot of people want to get, you know, tornado proof homes, but the thing is, it costs money. I mean, it's not like you can just whip it out of the air. But
yeah,
you know, I mean, if they were able to move, they would move. But since they can't, they got to do the best they can. And you know.
I mean, you know, I think about in the old days with you know, with the when America was first being inhabited, they were killing off Indians left and right, and people were just moving in big wagon cars and you know, covered wagon, and they were putting up shit in the middle of a field, whatever. And I think this is just a kind of a symptom of that, where America just was taking over land, didn't matter where the hell they were putting shit. And then it just continued and continued, and now people are living in places they shouldn't live in. Yeah. Honestly, there is plenty of land to go around, especially in America. When I flew over to California, and I flew over some of these areas. These areas are flat as hell, and there's really no housing in it. I mean, most of the places are in, you know, New York, California, those areas. It seems like everybody's spread out into the cities in the middle. There's plenty of land, but there's got to be areas that have less of this nonsense going on besides Tornado. I mean, Tornado Alley. Don't go in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Go outside the alley. But who the hell knows anymore? Where could we live, Ed? Where is the possibility where we could live anymore? Vorpapai says 360 million people in this country is overcrowded. Well, I wouldn't say that. You fly around, you see a lot of bullshit land you could build houses on, and nobody's buying it, nobody's building on it. Dumpster Baby says they should build massive Telsey towers. Telsey's electromagnetic. Oh, Telsa, that's right. That's the guy who invented, the real guy who invented electricity. Electromagnetic Renaissance towers created ozone, just like shit.
You can control humidity like with a lightning effect while using electromagnetic resonance technology to supply cheaper electricity than cables do. Wow, that is something.
Yeah, freaking genius, Dumpster Baby.
Yeah, Tesla. Yeah.
What about South America?
Well, yeah. I mean, either way, you still gonna have problems no matter where you go, whether it's man-made or natural. It's like,
and especially now with global warming.
Yeah, global warming. I mean, like you have to flip a coin, Judas. It's like either, like, well, please, Canada. Yeah, it's frozen tundra. If you like to live in like negative 50-degree weather, damn near year round, unless, well, except during the summertime, which when it hits like 50, that's like a heat wave in Canada. I mean, come on. Doesn't get that warm in Canada, But I mean, you have to flip a coin. Either heads, North America, you have to worry about mudslides, tornadoes, road rage on the highway, mudslides, fires, earthquakes, and then you have South America, which you have the Andes Mountains, which if you live near the Andes Mountains, you have to worry about more earthquakes and floods and stuff and hurricanes, and then not to mention the drug cartels that they have, at least over in Colombia and all the other places. I mean, there's really no safe haven. You gotta basically.
There really isn't. I mean, look,
no man is an island.
When before you started having all these storms and all this craziness going on with this weather pattern change, it was always a uncertainty with where you live. But what I was talking about earlier on is why people want to go and live in areas that are highly volatile in terms of weather patterns, whether it's weather or whether it's the earth shaking under you. Why would you want to live in areas like that is beyond me. I mean, people think about the schools. Oh, I want to go to an area where they're good school. Or, oh, I want to go in an area where it's a good neighborhood. Oh, what about the freaking the weather and the land that you're going to put your ass in? Like going to California, to me, is crazy. I think people are stupid for living in California.
Well, that's probably why the population is dwindling. They're losing money. But maybe because of the crime and the gang wars over in California, or the natural disaster, maybe a combination of both. Not to mention the sucky economy. I mean, that's why there are not that many people are making movies in California anymore, and they're going to Georgia. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Donnie, by the way, you're in an area that's not so bad. See, Nevada. I mean, what really happens in Nevada? I mean, you get extreme weather changes.
Yeah, extreme hot weather.
Or extreme cold
weather at night. Yeah.
I mean, but that's New York City, And New York City's like that, where you have extreme weather. Actually, you probably sit very, parallel? Or is that the right word? No, I mean, they sit straight across the United States, but kind of in the same...
Oh, yeah, parallel. I guess that would be the right word.
Yeah, that would be the right word. There's volcanoes in Nevada? Well...
They're dormant.
They're dormant.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't live around them. Tara Linda says, Irving, they live in those areas because that is where they are from, and that is where the family is from. Well, I'm talking about their family. Why the hell did they ever go there? Why? That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about currently. I'm talking about in the past, people would go and live in these areas. Then, of course, they started producing a bunch of ratty kids. and now you have these areas overpopulated. Why not? Oh, by the way, there are no volcanoes in Judas. Thank you, Donnie, because I didn't think there was. Unless I didn't hear about it. I don't know everything. But literally, why people put themselves in harm's way like that?
I don't think it's intentional, but people just don't. It's kind of like until it happens to them, they don't worry about it as much. People tend not to worry about it if it hits them personally. I mean, you can live in Tornado Alley for like 40, 50 years. If your house is still standing, like, you know, whatever. It didn't give me this year.
Yeah. Vogelby says, 37 minutes into the show with Ant down, and there is no insults, cussing, or shouting. Isn't that great?
And it's a lot quieter. Nobody's talking over each other.
Hey, Ed, what's going on? This is Edward Mampa on the line here.
How you doing, Ed?
How you doing, Ed?
All right, buddy. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Well, you know, what's on your mind? People live.
Hello?
Hello, your phone sounds like it's breaking up.
Yeah, I'm here. People live there because that was where their ancestors were raised. At that tornadoes haven't been as, or the weather hasn't been bad as it is now. Now there's been a period of bad weather in the United States, and we deal with it the best we can. You know, what can you read? Where can you go? Even New York got all flooded by Sandy. There's nowhere to go, really. What do you do? No. When Mother Nature acts up, you can't stop her.
That's true. That's very true.
What is that?
If Mother Nature starts up, you can't stop it.
Well, that's true, Ed. I mean, you know, I look, you know, people like to talk about some of these guys were yapping about and banging their computers about how where is God and all this and where is God and all that and blah blah blah.
I mean, I remember holding you. I remember holding you as a child, and we were in a well, and we were in Puerto Rico, and we got hit with a tornado, and it sounded like there was 20 or 30 trains coming in our way.
Really? Where was this, Edward?
That was in a place called Quebradilla. That was in Puerto Rico in a place called Quebradilla.
Okay, that's when I was a baby and I wasn't aware of shit.
You were a baby?
I had to hold you in my arms. Yeah, I had to hold you in my arms because, you know, Mother was having a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that the family lived in Puerto Rico for a while, but I wasn't aware of anything at that time, I guess. But, so I didn't know. I know you my whole life. I didn't know that you, that the family was involved in an earthquake in a well.
No, it wasn't an earthquake. It was a tornado.
It was tornado, rather, yeah.
Okay.
It was a tornado. We actually went into the well. The well was cracked, so it was losing water. And the one who thought about it was Jerry. So he got us all down there, and they gave you and me to hold, and I didn't know what to do because you were so small. I said, where do I run? Where do I put him if I have to run?
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that you, am I cutting you off because I could barely hear you, but I know that you withstood that hurricane that was in Florida when you had just gotten there, and that you had a lot of damage to your house during that time, right?
No, not at all. It didn't even pass my way.
Yeah.
It didn't pass my way at all. That went the other way. It went to the east of me, where Dad is now. but it didn't do damage. It just flooded some of the highways there, and then the next day it was okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other thoughts there, buddy?
No, that's it. That's it.
Well, keep making comments and make sure call us back if you have any other thoughts. And of course, we want to encourage anybody. We got a bunch of chatters here. Look at that. We're on a high chatter alert here.
Yes, high chatter alert.
And everybody's banging away. I love it.
How ironic.
Oh, okay. Here's some news coming in.
Mm-hmm.
John London said 5 are dead in an Israeli bank heist.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, like another dog day afternoon, I guess, in London. You hear that, Shibuki?
Or at least with what Mr. Dumpster
Well,
Baby
with all
said.
that fighting going on, they had time to rob a bank?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Anyway, Mr. Dumpster Baby says, if you believe in God or not, this had nothing to do with God. Thank you. The Bible says God created us in His image and He gave us dominion over the earth. God doesn't cause a tragedy to triumph. He is with us, but this is our planet and our problem. Thank you, Dumpster Baby. Well said.
Judas says Russian mafia. What is
Judas has been
like? What does that got to do
putting
with
shit out.
tornadoes?
I can see why he calls himself Judas. A complete backstabber. Alright, so anyway. But we're glad you're here, Judas.
We're glad you're here.
Irregardless.
I do have some other stories that may concerning release health-wise.
Let's do it.
Says eating tilapia is worse than eating bacon.
Are you kidding me? And I started liking that fish.
I know, right? Because I bake it myself because my mother my sister buys like packs of it by the box over at Sam's Club, Walmart, Kroger, wherever you can get it. And it's kind of really sad about this news. I hope this is just some. All right, well,
hogwash. Give us your story. I hope it's hogwash too, because I just started liking that fish. I don't really like fish at all.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to make some when I get a stove.
Well, there you go.
It says, written about, most people agree that eating fish is a healthier option for us, and the truth is, it really is. Fish is a low-fat, high-protein food that has a range of health benefits. However, given what we know of fish and its sources today, I need to clarify the myth that all fish is healthy. Whew. Fish may not always be good for you. Fish can either be incredibly healthy or detrimental to our health, depending on where it's sourced. There is a world of difference between fish caught in the wild and farm-bred or farm-raised fish. The most common types of farm-raised fish are salmon, carp, tilapia, sea bass, catfish, and cod. So why is farm-raised fish, I guess including tilapia, is so bad for you? Number one, it can cause inflammation. Sheesh.
Well, I don't know.
Farm-raised tilapia has always been a popular source of fish, not only because it's widely available in the U.S., but it's also very inexpensive. It's known in the food business as aquatic chicken because it breeds easily and tastes bland. That is true. You got to use a whole lot of seasoning.
No, yeah, but also you could actually make the shit taste like chicken.
Well, yeah.
Add some chicken seasoning to it.
Put that Goya seasoning, yeah. Tilapia is the perfect factory fish. It happily eats pellets made largely of corn and soy grains, weight rapidly, easily converting a diet that resembles cheap chicken feed into low-cost seafood. Recent studies that have concluded that eating tilapia may worsen inflammation, which can lead to heart disease, arthritis, asthma, and a world of other serious health problems. People who have started eating more fish as a way to get their dose of omega-3 fatty acids and lessen their risk of heart attack should avoid tilapia. In fact, scientists have found out that the inflammatory potential of tilapia is greater than that of a hamburger or pork bacon. Jeez. It says the other reasons. Number 2 is contains cancer-causing pollutants. Wow. It says chicken feces is one of the main ingredients in farm fish feed. Not only that, the transfer of pig and duck waste to fish farms is also a very common practice. Ugh. Number 3, it contains antibiotics and pesticides. says, where do farm-bred fish get their antibiotics? The crowded conditions of fish farms cause the fish to be more susceptible to disease. To keep them alive, farm owners give antibiotics to the fish to stave off diseases. But also they're treated with pesticides to combat sea lice.
My
Jeez.
God.
Sea lice? Jeez.
Well,
Low
look,
levels of nutrients is number 4, and number 5 contains toxic chemicals. Sheesh.
everything contains toxic chemical in this world today. You know, they haven't even confirmed it yet, but I bet you our air is a hell of a lot more polluted than anybody's saying right now.
Yeah.
You got a lot of breast cancer going on. You got a lot of shit going on. Kids being born autistic. You got all sorts of craziness.
Or
a lot
extra
of
limbs.
yeah, and
limbs.
now they blame it on vaccination. Like, you know, little kids getting vaccinated. They blame it on food. But they're not really talking about the air that we're breathing with all the shit in it.
People immunizing them with dirty needles? I mean,
well, but I'm not talking about. That's the point. Everybody's talking about how it's injected or injected with food or this and that, but nobody's really talking about the air that we're breathing right now and how bad it is, and who the hell knows. Look at what happened in Japan. They just had a nuclear, with the earthquake, nuclear reactor spewing out freaking radioactivity.
Yeah.
They had a meltdown the other day somewhere. It wasn't even well publicized. And I believe it was in the United States where a nuclear reactor was letting out some radiation. Who the hell knows anymore what causes all these problems? Am I right?
You're right. You're definitely right about
Gamer Girl says, I don't want to talk about illnesses and the shit. I just woke up. Well, welcome to the real world here, Gamer Girl. We did start our day on a good note. We asked each other how we're doing. How's that? How you doing, Gamer Girl?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing, girl? You know, life ain't so shitty as bad. As I saw your post yesterday. You know what? When you continue to feel shitty, after a while you get used to that, and it becomes almost like an addiction.
Right.
I'm serious. I mean, depression is, you know, we talked about depression before. Depression can be self-induced as well. I mean, so, yeah, you're right. We're talking about reality, and it can make you depressed, but in your life and in our lives, right now we're alive. We haven't been hit by an earthquake. We haven't had a house torn apart and shredded.
Right.
We haven't had any real, like, major drama going on.
At least not yet.
So it's not that serious.
Yeah.
You feel bad for other people and all that, but you can get away from this shit. You can walk away and, yeah, Judas, I would agree you're addicted to being depressed. And let me tell you, you think it's a joke. There are people who just like the euphoria of being depressed, and then the resurgence when they start to feel happy is like having LSD for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like coming off of depression, feeling really, and that's what they call what? Bipolarism.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do have some local news.
Please, bring it on.
A Bibb deputy honored 95 years after his death. 12 fallen officers had their names added to the Georgia Public Safety Memorial in Forsyth Monday afternoon. Law enforcement agencies across the state were in attendance, as well as Georgia Governor Nathan Deal, to memorialize their fallen comrades. Says, I would hope there would be a day where we wouldn't have the event where we're having today, said Governor Deal, as he addressed those in attendance. That would come a day when no one would lose their life, no family would suffer the loss of a loved one. That's not the world we live in. 722 names adorn the memorial wall, names of fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, some of who may not have been appropriately honored at the time of their deaths. 3 officers who were honored Monday lost their life earlier than 1920. One of them was Elaine Williams' grandfather, Franklin Williams, a Bibb County deputy shot during a raid on a gambling den in Macon in 1918. He made the trip down from Augusta. He never had the chance to meet his grandfather. The incident took place when his father was only 8 months old. Says, I've known about his death all along, said Lane.
You know, Anthony and I went to that meeting yesterday with the police department.
Mm-hmm.
And it went pretty good. I mean, I was a little bit surprised on how I felt when I left that meeting, because I really was ready to, and I was able to ask some questions, and Anthony, of course, he put it out there. And you know who was there?
Who?
Jamie Gaudet, the woman that put out the misinformation. And Anthony asked her straight up, you know, why did that happen? And she explained herself and said, you know, mistakes, I'm not perfect, and mistakes do happen. So at least that's kind of was, I hope, clarified. But I still say that that there was a carelessness, and they jumped to conclusions on that.
Right.
By the way, they're talking about Monsanto. Who the hell is Monsanto? Monsanto. You have to buy Monsanto.
They're poisoning us.
Oh, okay. And Tara London mentions May Manzarek has died. Do you have that story? That's the guy from
the
Doors.
Yes.
The Doors guy.
I'll definitely get into.
I guess he opened up the door and
walked in. I guess
walked in, and oh, Lord only knows where he went.
Looks like he broke onto the other side.
Yep.
Literally.
Anyway, we're all over the map this morning,
Yes.
and it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like a tornado. We're being whipped around and shredding everything.
Exactly. Now that you mentioned this, Ray Manzarek, pioneering organist and electric pianist, dies. The electric piano of Dave Manzarek, Ray Manzarek was Manzarek was the wind that announced the coming of the storm. His combo organ was a trip on a carnival ride, tipping toward the sinister. He was the reason the Doors didn't need a bass player, the talented music prankster who gave dimension and depth to Jim Morrison's Dark Dreams. Ray Manzarek, founding member of the Doors, died yesterday of complications from cancer. He was 74 years old.
Wow. He lived a long life. As I always say, he's, my mother used to say, Papichon mucho volado, which means, as a bird, he has flown far.
Yes. The Doors will sell more than 100 million albums worldwide, and the band's artistic legacy was as great as its commercial success.
It's funny, you're right, I was thinking the same thing. Riders on the storm. Well, let's see what kind of life he led, whether he's on a storm. Yurak put out something on the LA Times talking about the Vermont mayor, and I'll read that story. Might as well. Vermont governor signed death with dignity measure. What was the name of that doctor who was about euthanization? Dr. Kevorkian.
Yeah.
He's probably jumping up and down in his, whatever they call that thing, in his grave.
Yeah. Tomb.
With the stroke from 3 gubernatorial pens, Vermont on Monday became the 4th state in the country to allow doctors to prescribe lethal medication to terminally ill patients. Governor Peter Shumlin signed a measure.
Diapers?
Huh?
Oh, okay. I thought you said diapers.
No,
I'm sorry, it's not like diapers.
Yeah, diapers. You're thinking about diapers.
Diapers,
You're getting to that point in your life where you're going to need diapers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
In a state...
Can I borrow one of yours, Herb?
Can I finish the story and then we'll talk about the diapers? Governor Peter Shumlin signed a measure in the State House ceremony in Montpelier. Oh, they have a Montpelier over in Vermont. Look at that shit. Capping a decade-long effort on the issue in Vermont. Vermont is the first state to pass such a law through the legislative process. Oregon and Washington enacted their laws by referendum. In Montana, it was legalized by the courts. This historic achievement is a political breakthrough that will boost support for death with dignity bills nationwide. And Compassion and Choices President Barbara Coombs Lee. The group describes itself as the nation's leading advocacy group for end-of-life decision. The law, which went into effect Monday, allows for an end-of-life procedure with the consent of the patient's doctor after the patient has made more than one request for help in ending his life. The bill also stipulates that the patient has a chance to retract the request. Under the bill, the qualifying patient must be 18 years of old, a Vermont resident, and suffering from an incurable and irreversible disease with less than 6 months to live. 2 physicians, including the prescribing doctor, must make the medical determination. You know, by the time they make their determination, the patient's dead already, right? Who knows? The patient must also be told of other end-of-life services, including, what is that? Palliative care.
Yeah.
Whatever. Comfort care, hospice care, and pain control, according to the bill. There you have it. Now, you're allowed to commit suicide. Or have somebody do it for you.
Well, why not? If you were suffering from a painful something, you knew you were we're all gonna die.
I mean, there's no way to live. You're
Why
right.
fucking live and suffer?
Yeah.
But it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, people suffer every day.
Yeah.
You know what really gets me? Is a family that has like a parent, and that's really, really sick and just hanging on, and they're only hanging on because the family doesn't want to lose them. Meanwhile, that person's there suffering.
Yeah.
It's like, let them go. They're in peace. Let them go.
Well.
Don't keep them around just as an ornament.
Well, Saibuki is funny. He says, my grandmother has to die daily. Makes me feel bad that she has to hang around when she doesn't want to be. Is your grandmother bipolar? I'm just asking. Anyway, that's a stat. Is your grandmother sick? I ought to be asking. If you want, no, let me see. Gamer Girl says, if you want to take your own life, you should have the option. Donnie, I think that the person should have the say because I have had a dear friend of mine kill herself when the insurance would not pay for her well-needed surgery and she refused to get addicted on her meds. Well, that's a weird reason to kill yourself. If you don't die within the time frame of the hospice, usually 6 months, they take you off hospice and put you and make you into treatment, I guess.
Sad.
Tara London, how does everyone feel about the transgender fighter Fallon Fox? Should she be allowed to fight? Let him fight.
Yeah, let him fight.
Who gives a shit? You know what I feel about that? I don't give a shit.
Tara is like, I can't go. Tara London says, I can't go on with eight tentacles. I want to die right now.
Sabuki says, no, she's bedbound and old.
So when you going to that award ceremony, Tower? Or whoever? Okay.
Tara London is just putting up bullshit. I can't go on with 8 tentacles. Let's talk about life, Edward says. We got a call. How much you want to bet it's Donnie Curry?
Okay.
Want to wager?
No.
Morning, Rose.
Hey, morning, guys. Before you go on break, I wanted to give a little bit more light of why I typed that. This is Donnie.
Yeah, I thought so, Donnie. Welcome. Let us know. Speak to the audience.
My friend lived with scoliosis of the spine, and she when I knew her in 8th grade, all the way through high school, and I'm sure all the way, at least until she had her first child, she was wearing a back brace, and this back brace was the only thing keeping her from being wheelchair bound. And I knew she was suffering because she got hooked on drugs at one point in her life, and she refuses to be and have that addiction.
addiction. So when the doctors told her that she needed the surgery, her insurance refused to pay for the surgery, which was going to better her life. Well, the medication she was taking was a narcotic, and she refused to. I mean, I don't justify her actions, but it's stuff like this that kind of gets me. Is that when we speak of Kevorkian and all these other predecessors to this law passing, should have been the person, if they feel that it's their life to live or not to live. I mean, I don't agree with suicide. If you have other recourses, take the road. Don't injure life. But if they're dying from something that is obviously not curable, they should have the say. The government shouldn't have anything to say about it.
Yeah, that's very true. But
that's my 2 cents before you take break.
I agree that too. But we'll get with that later on. I know I wanted to talk about more, get into it, but because some insurance companies won't give you any money if you take your own life. Suicide, even if it's euthanasia in some cases.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to break, but one thing I will say, Donnie, a lot of these people that are, at this point in their life that want to end their life, I think that, first of all, if they really want to end their life, why can't they do it themselves? I mean, all they have to do is sit there and stop breathing. Just hold your breath until you're dead. I mean, what they're doing is that they're using somebody else, maybe because they feel guilty, they want to take their own life. I don't know what's going on in their head. I know that a lot of people are suffering with great illness who want to do this, but I don't know. I think I'd rather let nature take its course.
Yeah, speaking of nature take its course, we need to go on a break.
I got a video right now.
Okay.
We got a video first.
Ed's got a video. Stick around. We got all these chatters. We love yous. And
stick around. Stick it there. Stick it anywhere.
Yes, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Woo!
In Macon, County, Georgia, it is obvious that the illegitimacy of law enforcement and some office holders has become intolerable on a wide-scale level. The citizens of Macon, Georgia, and I understate, are fed up with the rule of this government and its agencies. My concern particularly is the abuse of policy and the criminal activities carried out by those whom I trusted to interpret, abide, and insert the constitutional law. The harmony which had been existed between the people and this government has diminished to many factors, including abuse of power, lack of transparency, and an overall disregard to our community's concern. And in this case, and of this current administration, total incompetence. We are aware of the corrupt abuse of policy, abuse of power, the brutality carried out by the police authority. We are aware of the decay and the perversion of the judicial branch of government as well, where inmates plead guilty and pay a fine to avoid being held for months, while the housing inmates are paid for by taxpayers and lawyers sitting on cases for months. We are aware of the manipulation of consolidation of federal agencies. We are aware of the encroachment of our liberties and rights. Amen. We are aware of your treason. We will remain focused and attentive towards your wrongdoing. The servant can never be greater than the master, and tyranny cannot be legalized or allowed to continue. Justice has nearly completely been taken out of the equation at this point. Amen. Your credibility is weakening to the authority I speak. Your authority is becoming inexercisable. Your laws formed and enforced for the purpose of selfish interest and inheritance have been hereby announced to be Without all of us participating in this new era of change, I'm concerned that we will continue to be a city and county held back from real change.
Amen.
I believe change is already happening,
Amen.
so I am somewhat optimistic. However, we need to really unite together and usher in real change that will bring true constitutional freedom and future prosperity for our city and county.
Amen.
Thank you. And may God bless Macon.
All righty then. Y'all ready for break?
Wow, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
There we go.
boulder-sized meteoroid, we're told, traveling 56,000 miles per hour, slammed into the surface of the moon, igniting into the brightest lunar explosion ever recorded. It was the equivalent to 5 tons of TNT. That's what experts are saying. And anyone here on Earth apparently could have spotted this with their bare eyes. According to NASA, the moon's been hit more than 300 times since 2006.
It seems to me that white people have made you a convenient target. For example, Bill Maher. You know what I mean? When he was talking about Obama, right? Right. He starts comparing you to comparing Obama to you as a way of saying he's not sufficiently black.
That he would be a real black man and not a Wayne Brady.
Right.
Well, as folks saw online, this at Wayne Brady, which is my Twitter handle. Why did I say that? Oh, because I read it on the monitor. I said to Bill, and it was taken out of context at a certain point because of the ignorance. Bill Maher, I've always respected him. Yeah. Lord knows not everyone can pull off the brilliance that he showed in DC Cab.
Well done. I was working out hard with you too, and you just good job. You should get into improv.
I give him a try. Well, fingers crossed. That I've respected him as a comedian and as what he does on HBO is great. When he starts to drag me in to use me as the cultural linchpin of his not black enough argument, that's bullshit. Right. Because A, Bill Maher's never walked in my shoes, nor any black man's shoes, and I've even said in the quote, just in the interview that I did about him, just because you've been with a black woman or two, and I've seen some of them, it's questionable if they were women, just because you've done that, yes, I said it, yep. And then after this, we'll talk about Clover, the character I play on my Disney show. That now you live the black experience? Oh, now you're down? No. Right. So to say that about
he thinks he has a pass. Bill Maher thinks he has a pass because, and I'm never going to go to Bill Maher show now, but Bill thinks he has a pass because.
Well, I'll take it on me so you can go on the show because I love what you do. So yeah, Bill, you think you have a pass. The fact of the matter is, if it came down to it, what I said to him was, oh, so then if it takes the black man in your mind, as liberal as Bill is, and he, oh no, peace and love, the black dude in his mind is the stereotypical, that dude. Right. That guy exists, but that's not the range of the black experience. But let's say that that's the black dude. So then when I meet you, when I talk to you again, I'll give you that black dude. And I will beat your ass in public. And that's what I said. That's what I said.
Did Bill ever respond?
Bill never responded because Bill is a bajillionaire. And I even said in the interview that if I really saw Bill, the fact of the matter is, if I played out the fantasy in my head and I beat him in public because I can, then Bill would take my house and I wouldn't have a career and then my daughter would be living in a box, but then I'd sell my story to Oprah and I'd be even bigger. Wayne Brady beats me. But so I just said, be careful when you make statements like that because I really don't care what you think. What I care about is when Bill Maher says something like that, he has a segment of America's ear. So when he says that, that's okay for somebody at home to go, that's right. Guys that actually talk well and are black, that's not black. I like my blacks misunderstandables. Yeah. So that hurts me. Not hurts me, it hurts me for our culture because the fact of the matter is I love my culture.
Surrounding HIV testing, which is still
plaguing so many of our communities, which you all know, a lot of that is due to homophobia. Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya.
Aha! Did you hear that?
Hear what?
You're so anti-Obama. It's
What
not
did
even
she
funny.
just say? I'm segueing. What did she just say? His home country. I may say no more.
And Central Country.
Take what you hear.
Okay.
All right, well.
We are back.
Or drink Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Well, we're back.
Well, speaking of, oh, yeah, it's been 2 years ago yesterday that Randy Poffo, or as we know him as Macho Man Randy Savage, former baseball player turned pro wrestler, died 2 years ago from a heart attack that he received while he was driving and crashed into a telephone pole. But thanks for the videos, Ed, and the picture, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, I like that picture.
Yes, that was a video that I just happened to find on Huffington Post Live about where Bill Maher was just always comparing President Obama to Wayne Brady because he's that safe Negro guy, you know. That's the.
Well, actually, there was that kid that they call you,
Carlton Banks, yeah.
Carlton from that show.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Thank you.
you know, featuring Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith. And you know, Will Smith's kid's an ugly kid. Not as good looking as his father. I was looking at.
He just became a teenager. You're gonna look awkward as a teenager. I know. Goodness knows I did. And trust me, I've gotten rid of most of my teenage pictures. You know.
Anyway,
pictures. You don't want to see that.
I wanted to talk about it, and you could bring this up because you're probably quicker than I am. I've been trying to, but that football player that used to have that reality show. Shit.
Talking about Terrell Owens?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was real arrogant and on the show and really boisterous and all that. Mm-hmm. Did you hear he got fired from everything?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, after he head-butted his wife. You heard about that?
I don't know about a wife. I never knew he was married.
Yeah, then we're talking about two different black guys. But and I know they all look alike, but I'm talking about...
Chad Ochocinco.
Thank you, Ochocinco.
Yeah.
Can you bring up that story?
It's kind of, maybe kind of old, but okay.
Yeah, Chad Johnson. Thank you, Tara London. Let's talk about Chad Johnson for a minute, because here's a guy who... I saw his show. I used to watch his reality show. Not that much, but I saw a few episodes. I just liked the way he went off and did some stupid things. But after a while, I started to realize, boy, this guy is so full of himself.
And has no ring. No Super Bowl ring.
He has nothing. I mean, he's just got whatever. I guess a big smile.
It's like the Charles Barkley of the NFL.
Right. Why don't you read that story? And I want people to...
Yes. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, former NFL wide receiver Chad Johnson has been arrested on charges that he violated probation stemming from an altercation with his now ex-wife reality TV personality, Evelyn Lozada. An arrest warrant was issued earlier this month when Johnson failed to meet with his probation officer. The six-time Pro Bowl player, formerly known as Chad Ochocinco, as in 85, number 85 on his jersey, is serving a year probation after Lozada said he had butted her for an argument during last August. She quickly filed for divorce. They had only been married since July the 4th. Johnson was released by the Miami Dolphins after the incident. He also played for the Cincinnati Bengals and New England Patriots. A Broward County judge ordered Johnson jailed Monday until he posts a $1,000 bond. Another hearing was set for June the 3rd.
Well, from what I gather, I was watching a sports show yesterday, ESPN.
Yeah.
And there was a panel there talking about this. And one guy mentioned that here's a guy who was so full of himself, arrogant. He was an epitome of, joyful glee, all about himself. And do you know he had to go to his head coach and humble himself, and then he starts crying like a little girl over his what's happening to his life. And then they were making references to, he was being humbled, and others were saying, well, he deserves it. What do you think about that? What do you think about a guy who was famous for being an asshole and being arrogant and messing around with people's heads?
Literally. Well, look, he's just a random jackass. I mean, if he's already a jackass and he thrives on it, be careful what you wish for. I mean, it just enhances your dumbacity, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, when your Wildcat said she should not have said hut hut hut.
I know.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Well, what about this thing with his probation officer? I was on probation for a year. I didn't screw around because I know those probation officers are a bunch of scumbags, and all they want is money.
Yeah.
And once I paid off my fines, he was like, don't worry, don't come and see me. So if this asshole with all this money would have went to probation, he wouldn't be in jail right now. What is wrong with people who continue to violate probation? And when I went to the LEC, that they had me stuck in there for that bad, stinking cop, which I mentioned yesterday, by the way, in that meeting. They were all there for probation violation. What the hell is wrong with people?
Yeah.
If they know the probation officers are the worst scumbags on earth, I can't stand probation. I think they're all rotten, stinking scoundrels.
Yeah.
Okay? If they would have just followed the protocol, kiss their ass for a little while, so you can get the freak out of there, why do they continue to violate it? You tell me. Give me a reason.
Stupid begats stupid. Like I said, like with the hurricane brings tornadoes. April showers bring May flowers. Dumbassery begets more dumbassery. It's more compounded. It's enhanced. People people who always have their way, particularly when they become a pro athlete or a celebrity, they do more stupid stuff in order to try to see if they can get away with more. Because they think if they do something stupid, they probably just didn't do it right.
Right, and that was the thing, that this guy especially thought he was invincible.
Well, yeah,
and
like most pro athletes are.
Yeah, well,
because he's never been hurt, yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. There's...
How you like your eggs, Ed?
Yeah.
OV.
On my windshield.
No, I'm serious. I think that there are athletes today are almost like the police department.
Yeah.
They have no good training on human skill. They're just a bunch of guys running around on a field, hitting each other in a freaking game with a ball that's misshapen. And they think they're all that. They think they got it all, and they're all good guys. No, they're not. Some of these guys are the most arrogant assholes that you'll ever meet, especially this guy. So do you think he's getting his just dessert?
Well, yeah. If you're a dumbass and first of all, I wouldn't even date a chick who's on a reality show anyway. But but what can I say? Dumbasses, begets more dumbasses. But, anyway, that's a whole other different story.
Yeah.
How did that read what you said to her? You're right, Rosalind. Male black celebrities' lives are ruined under the guise of violence against women. Chris Brown will forever be a monster, while Sean Penn win Oscars and everyone pretends he never beat Madonna with a bat.
Aye.
Sheesh. Yeah, that is true.
Vorpapai says, ha 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 ha, Irvis in Iran, and they're ignoring it, except for you, Vorpapai, so I appreciate that.
Yes, but I have to admit though, I'm kind of glad to see Wayne Brady, at least showing that he can't get, he can't be ticked off and stuff, because people don't know the plight of the non-thuggish black guy, that we go through. Me, Wayne Brady, Tavis Smiley, Bryant Gumbel, Carlton Banks, Steve Urkel, we go.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Come on.
Speaking of that, Vorpapai says, when I was a child, I was taught sportsmanship. You cannot find sportsmanship anywhere these days. You're right. All they're doing is teaching these kids, you better win. If not, you're gonna go home and you're gonna straight to your room. I mean, some of the parents in some of these games are insane. They got no freaking life, and they live through their kids like they're addicted to them, and they're pushing them into areas that maybe the kid doesn't want to be a football player, but yet they make him feel guilty and guilt him into it. We got a call. Good morning, morning, Rose.
Hey, morning, guys. This is Donnie.
Hi, Donnie. What's up, Donnie? Oh, here we go.
Hey, something I'd like to discuss with you guys. I know it's not on the football topic, and I know you guys try to run your show the way that you're going to run it, but I really got to ask you guys some questions.
Okay.
If you guys ever get a chance to do a forum, maybe soon within the next couple of days or something, where we could do I guess it'd be called a town hall meeting, where you can answer a bunch of questions, or a back and forth kind of conversation, I'd really appreciate it, because I've noticed that a lot of the chatters, at least on the ones in this show today, have been wondering if you guys are reading some of the what's a good word for it? Some of them that haven't been here in a while. So I'm wondering if you guys would be willing to do a question and answer show. If that makes any sense.
I mean, have like question and answer show from different Vaughn shows?
It's more of a Q&A for the betterment of your guys' show. Are you guys up for that?
Well, we'll have to sit down and discuss that. Usually when we make decisions, we make them all together.
Yeah, as a group.
So really he can't answer that question, but we'll definitely look into that and see whether that'll even work. I mean...
Because, yeah, that's a good question, because I forgot, Donnie, you have to have, like, Skype, really good Skype to do those town hall meetings, right?
Right.
What I'm more pointing towards is where all things are set aside, newscast or anything like that, where all it is you guys reading the chat, and that way it's still you can answer the questions, because there's two of you that have a laptop, three of you with Ed that have a laptop that can read the comments as they go. And what they do in the town hall meeting, they do this. I'll show you. They use this as a when someone has a question. Did you see that big red question mark box I did?
Well,
just say.
Once again, Donnie, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because when I was on Yurak's show the other night, I mean, Yurak is like a techno genius, and even he was having trouble, and we were having trouble, Gamer Girl, and getting 3 and 4 people on. Using Skype is great, but it almost comes to the point that screw Vaughn and just go to Skype and everybody Skype each other. Because to get Skype connected onto Vaughn and then everybody has to get connected and call in, it's just too much bullshit. And right now, as I can see, we've got probably close to 22 chatters. I will spend all morning just trying to get everybody online.
Okay,
you see what I mean? I mean, unless we have somebody that gets paid a lot of money, which we don't, to really come up with a way of doing it, it's just too much freaking work. I think we'll just keep it as is.
I'll do one better. I'll do one better. With my 6 years of experience doing this broadcasting stuff, I invite the 3 of you, and even the 4 of you, on my show, and you guys can call me in on Skype, because I have a very fast internet where everything runs smoothly. I invite you guys to come into my show and do a Q&A for all the ones that come to your show regularly.
Okay, Donnie.
All your mods.
Nice plug. Hey, I'll see you later. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. Maybe you and I can talk about it more on the phone later on. Thank you.
Thanks, Donnie.
All right, so
well, we're into the second hour. We're actually going to in the midpoint of the show. It's going on an hour and a half, so we have another hour and a half to go, close to halftime, I guess you might say. It's 71 degrees right outside of Macon, Georgia. It's somewhat sunny, at least for now, with a high of 88 and a low of 67. Actually, I do have some another story. Actually, something that we just came across yesterday before the tornadoes hit. It was I think this was somewhere in that vicinity in Birmingham, Alabama. CNN. So the class of 1963 was crowded in a rectangle on the dance floor from the memories of a high school fresh in their minds as the band played in a sea of pink and blue hues. Basically, yes, Aretha Franklin, Etta James, Temptation, just what you would expect in a 1960 prom. Yet the song drew the most bodies to the dance that was the wobble. The thing was that the group of the high school class of 1963 had their prom. It felt like the auditorium 50 years later. They had their high school prom 50 years later. Back in 1963, the societal tensions over race were so high in 1963 that the city canceled senior prom for 5 of the city's segregated high schools for black high schools.
Yeah.
Due to civil rights protests and death threats from from Klansmen or what have other supremacists.
Yeah.
Today, a half century has passed since the seminal civil rights protests that changed Birmingham and plotted a path for the nation away from segregation and toward equal rights. The historic 1963 prom, held Friday night and hosted by the city of Birmingham, closed one chapter for these Alabamans. It was a celebration that she and her classmates that were denied in 1963. A woman by the name of Ernestine
Yeah,
Thomas.
that's a couple that went into the prom after God knows how many years.
50 years.
50 years. Boy, they were thinking about that prom. It really affected them, didn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't have a prom. I don't give a shit about a prom. It's just another party. Kids getting stupid.
But it wasn't the kids that were getting stupid. It were the adults that were getting stupid with Jim Crow, And it's more than just a party. It's a threshold. It's a milestone. Like when you finally get your driver's license or something,
right?
Or you vote for voter registration, or when you get your high school diploma. I mean, you feel kind of deprived for that. I mean, you had to skip a certain event in your life because people were just bat crap crazy,
Right.
You were being denied. I mean, you feel like you lost a part of you lost a milestone, and you felt denied that,
Well, by the way, I like the what's going on with the chatters. They're talking to each other this morning, and I'm sure you guys could read it. But I would agree that I'm going to stay out of it. Anyway, I want to welcome some new chatters because we got a whole bunch of them. And why don't we read the roster anyway? Let's just welcome them once again, everybody that's here.
Want to thank everyone here, the mods, as well as the chatters. Go with the mods. Because 77, Saibuki Diaz, Photo Guy. Donnie Curry, thanks for the calls. Edward Mamba, also thank you for calling us. Hawkeye, New Jersey. Rosalind Nicole, Vorpalbite, Yurik Wildcat, Gamer Girl, Ellen Macon, the Three Bears, how you doing? Tyra London, how you doing, Aunt? I hope you have a good time at the
you bum.
And also our chatters, we have Ashley 34, Judas, LWR Ventures, Mr. Dumpster Baby, Owella, Peter, Rush 2929, Sarah's Clit, Veggies is Delicious, Jews, V-Test, and Yamana's Ahoa.
Damn, look, we got, how many? We got 40 viewers right now, so I guess our numbers are climbing.
Yes.
It's good to have you all here. I'm glad that you stick around despite it's more of a lull in the show, although Vorpalbite kind of likes it.
Yeah, he kind of likes it.
Yeah, he's been hitting on Anthony as I know, cursing and yelling and all that. Yeah. And no Ant, exactly. Yeah. You get more viewers without Ant. Dumpster Baby says, Ant is abrasive. I love Ant.
Wow.
Yeah,
also, if we didn't say this before, I just want to say thank you, everyone, the viewers and chatters, for helping us hit the 10,000 milestone. We've had over 10,000 views since we've been on Vaughn Live since March 25th. So we want to thank you for that. We have some other stories. Here, I think I was trying to find.
Come on, baby. Oh, I may have a story too.
Okay.
All right, but you go first.
Okay. There's a story of Emmy-winning former CNN journalist Amber Lyon blows the whistle.
Oh.
Yes. Says, with this case, the central issue is media controlled by the Obama administration, and more specifically CNN, as a verified tool for propaganda and disinformation. Says, within this Canadian video report, you'll find footage of a CNN story on Egypt and Mohammed al-Zahari. It was produced by well-known CNN journalist Nick Roberts, and the entire video is excellent. Is a pertinent aspect at the 1:30 mark. It says, Amber, previous thread, there was a question that says, why would CNN or CNNI International refuse to air the Nick Robertson report when Mohammed al-Zahari, brother of Ayman al-Zahari, that clearly shows the Egyptian uprising was 100% in response to his call for protest for release of the blind sheik on 9/11? Why would the most trusted name in news hide the report showing the truth and instead allow the false narrative to be sold by them to the American electorate? And Amber Lyon provides the answer. She says, CNN never aired the Nick Robertson report in Egypt because it completely contradicted the Obama administration, the Hillary Clinton State Department, Egyptian assertions. In short, it was proved that they were lying big time. The refusal to air the real reasoning for the Egyptian embassy assault was intentional protection of the President Obama, specifically orchestrated by the CNN news group. Specific, intentional lying.
No, well. You know what? They're going to hit Obama with anything they got.
Wow.
And look at that girl. Oh, I know who she is.
Yeah, she's a reporter on CNN. Yes.
She was from Fox.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she is kind of hot.
That wench.
Well, Fox do hire really good-looking women.
Yeah. Well, according to you.
And a whole lot of other people.
The guys look like a bunch of pinheads.
Don't let Bill O'Reilly hear you say that.
Oh, God, that guy's a scumbag. Anyway, Bill O'Reilly. Although I did like, he had this forum going on with him and Jon Stewart.
Uh-huh.
And I think he got some points on that, although Jon Stewart was hysterical.
Right.
But I think he got some good points on that show. It was the only time I agreed with him on anything.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of agreement, the Supreme Court has agreed to revisit the issue of church-state separation. Once again, they can't make up their minds. You know, this Supreme Court shit, they should eliminate those judges. I swear to God. Let's just have a president. And let's have one more.
Well,
Congress sucks.
Well, see, they need a Supreme Court. That's why they'll mess up the checks and balances, right? I mean, the only bad part is, though, I mean, unlike
this freaking country is so imbalanced right now.
Unlike the president and the members of Congress, you can't really vote the Supreme Court justices on there, and plus, and also they have lifetime jobs, so they could just either just drop dead, literally drop dead, or just retire. So that's the only thing. I mean, at least they have term limits for the president and congressmen and congresswomen.
Yeah.
They don't have term limits for judges. You just there for life.
Well, that's about the only good thing that Ronald Reagan did was bring in that law.
Making $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
$80,000-$90,000 a year for life. You know.
For life. Well, let me read the story money. So that you guys get a gist of what this is about. You can make comment. The Supreme Court has agreed to revisit the issue of church-state separation and decide whether a town council can begin most of its monthly meetings with a prayer from a Christian pastor. 30 years ago, the court upheld a state legislature's practice of beginning its session with a non-denominational prayer, and justices said that to invoke divine guidance on a public body entrusted with making laws did not violate the First Amendment prohibition on the establishment of religion. But then, several lower courts have said that a city council or county board may violate the First Amendment if its opening prayers favor one religion. Last year, the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the town of Greece, New York, I didn't even know there was a place called Greece, New York, near Rochester, had crossed the line by inviting Christian pastors to deliver nearly every opening prayer. Though the town's policy does not favor one religion, the appeals court said the practice had been to favor Christianity to the exclusion of other faiths. In practice, Christian clergy members have delivered nearly all the prayers relevant to this litigation and have done so at the town's invitation. All right, wow. There you have it. More separation of church and state issue. And I think that the people got it all screwed up when it comes to the separation of church and state.
Wow.
Bye, Tower London.
Oh, yeah, he's got to go for the award show.
See, as soon as I bring up this issue, Tower London go. All I'm saying is, I think that the way that we view the separation of church and state, the separation of church and state is that the state has to protect free worship. Okay? And that they cannot interfere in that. And that's where the separation comes. The only thing they're entitled to is to protect it. They're not entitled to inject it with their bullshit.
Right.
And the same thing goes with the churches. Legislation has to be made that it has almost nothing to do with religion, but it has to do with what is in the best interest of the community.
Right.
Okay? That's what it really means. But for some reason, the church wants to get into the pants of the state.
Right.
And the state wants to get into the pants
of the church.
And if you read your Bible, for those of you who, besides just looking at one in a bookstore and walking away from it, or besides those who claim they read it but only read one chapter, if you really dig deep into it, you'll realize that there are stories that talk about this, and that what basically God, or the nature of God, or the divine power, for those of you who don't believe in God,
right,
that the whole idea was that God says the king has the duty to hold a sword. And the priests or the religious people have the law. So the priests or the religious people interpret the law like the judges.
Right.
And then the state or those in authority and power are the ones who enforce the law. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That is the real meaning, and the religious people cannot enforce the law. They can only interpret it, and they can only relate it, and they can only propagate it. But it is the government that is in charge of enforcing the law. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody out there? And that's not true, Judas. Saying the church offers nothing to a modern society. That's not true. That's not true.
But I do have some stories, at least something that...
Well, wait a minute. Let's elaborate before we move on.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about church and state. I just read the story. You haven't said a word about it. I want to hear what your opinion is. I'm sure that other people want to hear what you have to think about.
No, I was trying to get other stories, Ed.
Oh, okay.
I know, I didn't send you that many, did I?
Yeah. All right. So what do you think of this subject? I mean, if you want to just move on, we can just move on.
Well, I mean, we know it's there's going to be some disagreement and stuff. I mean, those who believe in God and those who don't. and those who and whether they believe or not, there's going to be even more tension, more disagreement about talking about church versus state, because even though a lot of church want more influence into the state, the thing is though they do have perks in like not paying any taxes, because the tithes and offerings that they collect is pretty much tax free. I guess for some, that's why you have a whole lot of multimillionaire televangelists or church preachers in certain. You have these mega churches and stuff. But aside from that, talking about feeding the poor or the masses, I do have some story about some food. Hopefully, that's a nice segue. Warner Robins attorney wins legal food frenzy. And this is from Atlanta.
What is that about?
Yes.
What is a legal what?
Legal food frenzy.
What's a legal food frenzy?
I'll get right to it. Attorney General Sam Olin says Georgia's lawyers have donated the equivalent of more than 840,000 pounds of food to the state's 7 regional food banks during a food drive competition. The legal food frenzy brought in 38% more than last year. A total of new law firms and legal organizations competed in the contest, which ran from April 22nd.
Booty call. His phone.
Oh. Somebody's calling him. All right, keep going.
Anyway, okay. The second annual legal food frenzy brought in 38% more than last year. A total of 249 law firms and legal organizations competed in the contest, which ran from April 22nd through May 3rd. Solo practitioner Walter G. Bo Sammons Jr. of Sammons and Warner Robins won the grand prize with 9,218 pounds, the most per capita statewide. Mercer University law students took home the Attorney General's Law School Cup for the second year in a row, more than doubling their total from last year's by raising 8,697 pounds of food, or 22 pounds per capita. That's a whole lot of food. I mean, geez, almost a little over 4 tons of food.
Well, my brother's saying that they give outdated food. Is that true? I mean,
I hope not. It kind of defeat the purpose, don't you think?
Well, I mean, how are you going to get rid of 800,000 pounds of food, before the date goes out? I mean, God. Mm-hmm. You talk about bad timing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the chatters are still going off on each other. Three Bears Vorp, you really need to get Skype or Facebook so we can get a hold of you. Everybody's hitting on Vorp today.
Yeah, Ross and Nicole, booty, rocking everywhere. That's basically what Feeding America does.
Listen, damn, I like the one in the red. Good, healthy attitude. Thank you. I hope you're talking about me and not Ed. Yurak says, we got away from the church doing the work of the church and letting the government do the work of the church, like providing food or shelter for the needy. I think the churches should be doing that kind of work and not leave it to a government agencies. Amen. And I'll tell you what, let me tell you something.
Correctamundo, Yurak. Yes.
One of the reasons why, so help me God, one of the reasons why I left the church that I came here to do work with, I'm now going to 567, another church, but one of the reasons is they had over $98,000 that they collected for benevolence. And yet they weren't doing shit in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They were just collecting interest. And they had the nerve to get upset with me when I mentioned it. I said, well, what are you going to do with all this money? I mean, we haven't done anything. And then I was in charge of Hope Worldwide at the time. And I had some, people that were my advisors, and they would watch everything. And I had appointed one the treasurer because I didn't want to handle money. And I said, let's do this. And would you believe they weren't proactive? They weren't doing nothing. I was the only one going out and doing relationships with the neighborhood and trying to find ways to get us going. And nobody was helping me. I mean, the church just became lazy, self-absorbed, and that's one of the reasons why I left. And so I agree with you, Yirak. The church has gotten away from doing the work of the church. And that's why I even brought up yesterday, I think I'm going to start going after some of these churches. I mentioned that in the meeting yesterday. I believe I mentioned that in the meeting. I mentioned it somewhere yesterday. Where, hey, start to look at what these churches are doing in this freaking city. Oh, I remember when I mentioned it when Hicks was here.
Oh, yeah.
And start to pull some of these 501(c)(3)s, or at least protests for them to be pulled. Because these churches, especially here in Macon, ain't doing squat except feeding once a week. And, I'm sorry. I don't like to enable anybody. You know, at that point, everybody, getting enabled. Right?
Right.
And that's all they're doing is feeding once a week, and that's it. There's no programs in the jails. They're not doing anything to help out the community. They're not really doing anything except sitting around doing shit. And self-absorbed religious people who are afraid to even go out and meet people and invite them to church. They won't even do that. It's like a social club here in Macon.
Wow.
So I agree with you. They're not doing their job.
Okay.
And I think they should have their 501s pulled if they're not doing good for the community.
Yeah, I was reading what Rosalind Nicole said. She said something. I was trying to get it. It says it's about the food. Yeah, they get the food from local grocery stores. I guess meaning the churches or some people from the grocery stores, and it's usually what was it, overripened sometimes.
Right, Rosalind. Well, she works at Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. Okay.
So yeah, I guess Walmart does.
They get the food from the grocery stores that we can't sell because it's bruised or overripened and stuff. And she says that I have to send that food from my super center to Feeding America. And since I also volunteer at Feeding America, we sort it through again. We don't usually accept things that have a date on the expiration date.
That's funny. That is funny.
Like salads.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because, in other words, they can get away with it. That shit is already stale, but they still get away with it because there's no date.
Oh, okay. She said, yeah, because I did ask her, like, you work at Walmart or Sam's? Because she said, yeah, Walmart. The Walmart Super Center, the Super Walmart. Sam Clubs doesn't have super centers. Okay.
All right, well, it's just a problem with the black community we're talking about now, Jadis. This is with everybody. And remember, you talk about black people, but black people only make up 14% of the population in the United States. All right? So you're talking about white Jewish people like you that run this country.
Jeez, okay.
Anyway, Ellen Macon says, I understand her, but many people are helped by the feeding once a week. Yeah. Donnie Curry, I know it is Germany. Or German, sorry. Whatever.
Jews said, let poor people get hungry. Maybe hunger will push them to success. Besides, poor people in America are obese. Churches feed poor so they can convert the desperate.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it, Jews, but I agree with you.
Yeah, it is true.
We got a lot of sense to that one.
Yeah, we have the fattest poor people in the world. That's true.
I know.
Because how can you be poor and be 300 pounds? That really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Some people can't help it.
I mean, he's got a point there. You know.
I know your metabolism gets, slows down when you get older, but jeez Louise.
Yeah, let me say, German is my mother's language, but damn, I can speak okay after 7 years. They're talking about German. I said that was a good topic. Edward Manford, Judas, the poor will take what you have someday. Alien Killer, Jesus was an idiot. He got nailed, Alien Killer. Oh, you're back. Okay. Well, we're going to let you stay. Because even though your comments are stupid, we like stupid comments. Edward, and you will do nothing. Oella says, I want to go on Skype. Alien Killer says, sin is knowledge. Edward Member says, they will bitch slap you. Alien Killer, nothing more. LOL. Oella, damn yes. See, I'm really taking the time to let you see the bullshit that you guys put on the air here.
Okay.
Or on the chat. Alright, we got a call coming in. And I don't think it's Sonny Curry this time. Yeah, hello?
Morning Rose.
I'm calling in. Is this that Morning Rose show?
Yes, it is. Who is this?
Oh, that's Peckerhead.
This is Jack of the town, and I want to know what's going on in that town.
What's going on? You haven't been watching, I guess.
That's some horn dog. Hey, horn dog!
Ah, we know who you are.
You slut! Get your ass over here!
Hey, when are you coming over?
Yeah, we got a seat waiting for you.
We got a seat that you need to warm up because this Tara London guy decided to take the day off on us.
And actually, this show's going a hell of a lot better.
You're on what?
I said the power of London took off today, huh?
Yeah, he decided to do that.
I think he had to watch his kids, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a award show.
Yeah, well, actually, Vorpalbite's having an orgasm over it. He's loving the idea that he's not on. And now I don't see Vorp on. I guess he left.
Must be in ecstasy, I
Well, I'm
guess.
sure there's a lot of other people, except they won't admit it.
Say again?
I said, is it you, Derek, and Ed?
Yeah,
Yes.
me, Derek, and Ed. Are you coming down or what?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an or what. I just got called in. I was out with Roberta today.
Okay.
I got there about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got two call-ins. One was a break-in downtown, and I got to go fix that alarm system while I can. So, good old man can still have his trouble.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Well, come to the show, man. We only got another hour left.
Yeah.
Only got another hour left.
Yeah.
I'm still only about 20 minutes away.
All right, so you have half an hour on the show.
Yeah, okay. I'll see what I can do.
All right. See you in a bit. All right.
All right.
All right. And that was David Kuzno, who's running for mayor here in Macon, Georgia.
No, he's riding a horse for mayor.
Oh, yes, yes.
Do you have that shit? You had it.
I have that picture.
Yeah, you do. You do have that video somewhere. Wait until he gets here. Maybe you ought to cue it up. So when he gets here and see how people react to that.
Yeah, well, give us a call. We'll probably might bite and see what it is. But speaking of biting, here is a wing dang doodle of the day. Here we go. This is from the Inquisitor.com. It says, teen girl bites boyfriend's penis after he refuses to have sex. That is incredible.
Wow.
I can't even believe this.
That's a mad dog. That's a mad bitch right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, she is. Dun, dun, dun. A teen girl bit her boyfriend's penis this week after he refused to have sex with her.
Wow.
19-year-old Christy Harrison was in bed with 24-year-old boyfriend Jeffrey Wilkinson when he rejected her advances. According to a police report, Wilkinson told Crystal several times that he didn't want to partake in any sexual acts. Not willing to take no for an answer, Crystal grabbed her boyfriend by the penis and bit him on his genitals. Realizing that his girlfriend is a bag full of crazy, Jeffrey pushed away and then fled the couple's shared home in Bradenton, Florida.
Wow.
Crystal followed her boyfriend out of the home, slapped him in the face, and then spit on him. Crystal was taken into custody and charged with domestic battery. Jeffrey told police that he did not want to press charges. Harrison and Wilson have a child together. As we head into the weekend, we can't help but wonder why so many strange penis stories are surfacing. As our own Kim
That's true.
Was she trying to Spiriglio him?
Who the hell knows? But let me tell you something. How did she get there in the first place if he's refusing her? I mean, how do you get to a guy's junk unless you tie him down and force him. I mean, did he let her? I mean, was he stupid or what?
Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe he was high and stupid. I mean,
know.
They already have a kid together.
Yeah.
But for some strange reason, I have no why he's saying no
I don't know how in the world she would have gotten to his penis that easy. I mean, it's down here. Maybe he had pants on. She's got to undo him, unless he was sitting there with his ball face naked.
Yeah, or already in his drawers already. But
or something.
I mean, I mean, it still boggles the mind. It still boggles the mind.
It boggles more than the mind. Well, it boggles your
junk.
Bobbles.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway,
I guess you got to be careful.
You know,
always got to be careful. Especially you don't want to be with anyone who then you find out until the last minute she's bat crack crazy. But
Hey, I used to work with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He told me a story about his wife that she didn't trust him. And every night he had to work late.
Yeah.
So I guess sometimes he didn't. She made him whip out his packer and sniff it. To see if he's been fucking around.
So
is that an Onion story?
No, that's a fucking true story this guy told me.
Wow.
And this guy, I wouldn't fucking doubt it either.
So yes, Ibuki says, I'm confused by the fact that the guy didn't want sex. Actually, if you look at their pictures, the girl is like a butterface. The guy is better looking than the girl. I'm serious. She's got this butterface on her, kind of a round head.
Hey, Ant's got a fan club out there, Renee's Cunt. Ant, the lowest scum on earth. Is that an insect and ape? What a low IQ creature. Maybe it's a rural southern incest baby.
Oh, jeez.
It's probably him.
That's just so...
Alan Macon says, true, Shai, was that he didn't want to fuck, but that he didn't want to get sucked, LOL.
Jeez. But if he didn't want neither, then why the hell was he at that girl's house? Well, actually, yeah, they do have a kid. I forgot about that. Dang. Yeah.
Anyway, man.
Bye, Renee's Cunt.
Oh, he left? She left?
Live Creed and Ant.
Yeah, I gave him the boot. Or it the boot.
It the boot.
Goodbye.
It was probably Ant fucking around.
Talking about, Ant, because Ant talks about, on the first of on Friday.
He wants to stir controversy.
Talking about, like, Slim Sims and stuff. But speaking of Slim Sims or something pertaining to traffic and stuff, Click or the Ticket begins this week. Well, actually, yesterday. Cops are hunting Georgia roads today for people who aren't wearing their seatbelts.
There we go.
Because
I keep telling Ant to wear his. He don't give a shit.
The Click It or Ticket campaign. State officials with the governor's office of highway safety are reminding you that your local cops, sheriff's offices, and the Georgia State Patrol will be on an increased lookout for drivers and passengers who aren't wearing their seatbelts. Officials say that the campaign is an effort to save lives. In 2011, the state of Georgia had 421 traffic deaths that involved a victim who wasn't wearing a safety belt. This year, the state is on track to see more than 400 of those deaths in 2013. If they catch you without a seatbelt, you can get a ticket and face a hefty fine.
All right, and what is the hefty fine they're talking about? They don't even tell you. Because they make it up as they go along, so help me God.
Yeah, about $300. Yeah.
Really?
Expensive ticket.
It depends on the judge.
No, it's the what is it, governor? The
governor deal, yeah.
Yeah, governor pay. The 100 days of heat or something like that, or.
Yeah, 100 days of heat. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, if it, people abuse the idea that they don't wear seatbelts. I'm kind of glad. It does save lives. Mm-hmm. True, if your car goes spinning off, veers off of some mountain, you're not going to live.
Oh, yeah. Seatbelt ain't going to help you off when you rub off a mountain, yeah. I mean, you ain't Wile E. Coyote. I'm just saying,
Well, Donnie Curry says again, I think it should be a choice. They are putting their lives in their own hands. I always wear a seatbelt just because it is safe. But it does not affect no one but themselves, period. Well, yes and no, because what if you fly out of your windshield and fly into their car? Could happen.
Well,
all right, Donnie Curry, I know. Morning Roast. Hey, you're right. What's up, buddy?
Hey, there is a lag, so some of the things I've been typing, I had to kind of think about as I was trying to type them out. So I may look like I'm behind you guys, but about the seatbelt.
Yes.
Yesterday was a perfect example of why everybody should be wearing their seatbelt.
Yes.
Because I made an honest mistake and could have caused an accident yesterday when I happened to have Irving and Ed in the car with me, and we were all wearing our seatbelts, and the car has side impact airbags, but anything could have happened. So everybody should wear your seatbelt.
I agree.
You that fast, you just won't even see it coming.
I agree. And I know it affected you.
I saw the car, but I'm in the back seat and I'm thinking, I don't know where I'm at, and I'm thinking, well, we're at a red light, and we got because I see the other cars away, and I didn't see any other cars. But I seen that car coming, and then he pulled, so I thought, oh, and I said, damn, that motherfucker didn't see that light, and didn't realize there was no light.
Right.
But you know what? That happens, man. Luckily, God was on your side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and the thing was, Yirak, was that I started to determine that we could possibly get hit because I saw the car about 20 seconds before I yelled out. And I thought that you had seen it, I assume, and that you were going to speed up. But somehow that wasn't happening, and the car was coming right at us. And but thank God for your good, what is that? When you have reflexes.
Yes.
Thank God for your good reflexes that when I yelled out, you stopped.
Sorry, I thought I had you muted.
Well, we've never, you and I have driven around a lot. We've never had a problem.
Yeah, seatbelts would have been a very important thing in that situation yesterday, and not just for us, but for the other person too. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to let you go.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call.
By the way, Volpabite is saying last winter, a car slid in the road in the heavy snow. And the what the hell?
The driver was wearing a seatbelt and died. The passenger was not wearing a seatbelt, was tossed clear of the rolling car and survived uninjured.
All right, well, that was a freak accident.
Yeah, definitely. The Zeus says cops should ticket anyone they see with a phone in their hand while driving, whether they used it or not. Wow.
Well, wait a minute. Who was wearing the passenger was not wearing the seatbelt.
But yet lived, but the one who did it wear a seatbelt died. So that is kind of that is kind of weird. I mean, some things do happen those things happen like that. You hear about like a 30-year-old who didn't smoke a cigarette in his life and dropped dead of a heart attack. But then you have like 90-year-old, 100-year-olds be chain smokers and eating bacon, and they live to be 90, 100 years old. But anyway, it's 10:07 right now.
Didn't even realize that.
It's time for a break, so we'll be right back. It's 2 hours done and one more to go right here on the Morning Roast, live from the Nut House.
Stick around, chatters. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Landon, and you? Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Landon, and you? You are my viewers. I freaking like you guys. Finally, it's Friday. How was your week? Me, I've been sick. I've been sick, and I still am sick. Sorry, but that picture creeps me out every time I look at it.
Landon, if that picture creeps you out every time you look at it, why the hell would you put it into your desktop background?
That is a good freaking question. Here's some crackers. Anyways, guys, I know that I'm sick, but you guys need the news, so let's just get started. Let's meet the world's skinniest person in the world, Valeria Levtina. She's 39 years old. She was given this title more recently. Lizzie Velasquez used to be the skinniest person in the world, weighing 60 pounds. And this girl is 20 years old. She has to eat every 15 minutes just to stay alive, due to a rare condition which she was born with. She consumes 5,000 to 8,000 calories a day. An average person only consumes 2,000 calories. Eating all those calories, she can't even gain a pound. pounds. So now Valeria Leftina is the skinniest person in the world. Beating her record, she was 60 pounds, well this new girl, she's 55 pounds. That's just so insane. I don't know, is that the weight of my arm? She's from Moscow, and this is what she used to look like. This is a picture here with her and her family. Right now she's actually studying for a dual degree of Doctor of Business Administration and a PhD in economics. Right now, this woman is actually being called a live mummy. Yeah, I can pretty much see that. Her own mother is calling her a live corpse. That's just so mean, but it's coming from your own mother, and it's kind of true. Just look at her, and you guys can decide for yourselves. Her serious problems with anorexia began in her 20s after dieting to become more attractive for other people. So it actually wasn't a disease at first. You know what? I absolutely hate that. People who are trying to become more skinnier or change their appearances just to become more attractive to other people. People are simply beautiful just the way they are. Why do they want someone to like the fake them? It's not you. You should try to be you and find the right person. Trust me, there are people out there who aren't gonna like your looks, but guess what? For every one of those people that don't like your looks, there's another person that does. I'm a pretty ugly guy, but I'm so lucky to have a girlfriend that really likes me. I have no idea what she sees in me, but guess what? I had to be me for her to like me. But of course, for Valeria, she didn't see it this way. And it sucks, because she used to be pretty attractive. And now she looks like she's gonna die if there's like a little gust of wind coming by. Not to be an asshole or anything, but what happens when a lot of birds fly over her and they're flapping and all of a sudden she falls to the ground? There's an actual reason behind her, and this is what she said to the media. She was on a picnic one day at a soccer field, and someone said a comment on the soccer field.
I know how we can win this game. We should take Valeria's ass, stick her in the net, because how the hell can you get past that?
Seriously, what is wrong with people these days? Why can't everyone just be accepted? She said that phrase on the soccer field shattered my whole world and existence. And shortly after that, she began to diet. A goal that quickly became an obsession. And that obsession led to depression. Her appearances has actually made it difficult for her to get close to anyone, as people don't generally approach her. Her dream is actually sharing her life with someone else and having babies. But with her condition, her being so little, she's actually not able to have any kids. This sucks because she became anorexic to try to become more attractive, but now no one likes her and now she can't have kids. Her life is pretty much ruined. What do you viewers think of this? The first woman, it was an actual disease where she tried to eat so much food but couldn't gain a pound. And what do you guys think of those people who tried to become anorexic by throwing up their food and just not eating anything at all?
Hello and welcome to In the News! Brought to you with raw and uncut commentary by none other than your host, Mr. Tommy Sotomayor.
Good morning, America. Good morning, world. Hello again. I'm Tommy Sotomayor, and this is In the News. This In the News was brought to you, or is being brought to you, by my man Xavier Samuels. He sent me an email, and basically the title of it was Husband Dies After Rape by 6 Wives. Now, of course, I wanted to see this because I'd like to have a few wives. Sounds interesting, sounds fun. But the dead part kind of threw me off. So I wanted to take a look at this because I didn't believe it was a real story. And I clicked on the link and there it was on AOL. Here's the story, and I'll be back. Roll that sexy, beautiful bean footage.
Any man that dreams of having multiple wives or spouses may want to rethink that fantasy. A Nigerian man was found dead in an extreme case of spousal revenge. The husband, a prosperous businessman in eastern Nigeria, had 6 wives. Last week, he decided to spend that particular night in the youngest wife's room. However, the session was interrupted by his 5 other marital partners. The women, armed with sticks and knives, demanded that he have sex with all of them. The man declined to participate, but was soon overpowered and the sex march began, starting with the youngest woman. He quit breathing once it was the 5th bride's turn, causing many to call the incident a rape. 2 of the wives have been arrested so far.
Well, Professor Xavier, Mr. Samuels, This is a wild story. There's a good and a bad in it. The good is he got to fuck 6 women at one time. The bad is he got killed fucking 6 women at one time. That's amazing. The women were fucking this man to death. I've heard some people say, man, I got fucked to death. But the nigga was talking about it, so he wasn't really dead. This nigga here got fucked to death. Now they say they're gonna charge the people, 2 of them, with murder. What, the last 2? I mean, how do they figure out which 2 should be charged with murder and rape? Now there's a lot of questions going on. People are wondering, should these women be charged with rape? And a lot of people think you can't rape a man. Well, it is possible to rape a man. We can't control our damn penises. As a matter of fact, half the time I cheat, I now need to use the fact that I couldn't control the motherfucker. I was trying not to do it, but damn it, it had a mind of its own. Now, maybe the damn man should be able to charge his dick in court. My damn dick betrayed me. I told him no, the motherfucker did it anyway. Hard-headed bastard, literally. Now, see, it could have never been me, of course, because I'd have fucked the first one, had an orgasm, and probably fell asleep. The other 5 women would have been highly disappointed. They would have had to damn eat each other while I was asleep and wait at least 20 minutes for me to get back and do something with the second one. That'd have been a long-ass rape. For me to fuck 6 women, it probably took 7 days. One of them to rest. Anyway, when you think about this story, for as fun as we think it is, you have to imagine, especially as a black man, if it's hard to control 1 black wife, damn it, it'd be hard to control 6 of them motherfuckers. And the black women was out of line. They rushed up in the damn room because they was mad he was fucking the young one. And the young one went along with the damn rape. Now that ought to tell you something. It's probably the first time in the history of man and the only time that you've ever seen a man get raped by black women. That a black man would turn down a bunch of sex with a bunch of other women. Black women, y'all got it bad. Niggas saying, no, I don't want to fuck all y'all. And then y'all rape him? You gonna fuck us. And then the young one's up there like she's Scooby-Doo. And the motherfucker offered her some Scooby snacks. She up there talking like, yeah. Come on now. The fuck is designed? Hey, black women, y'all be the first ones to do all kind of out-of-line shit. Be the first one to ever do it. You're the first motherfuckers on the top 10 FBI most wanted list. Now you're the first motherfuckers to fuck a nigga to death and rape him and get arrested for it. Black women, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Taking dick. Anyway, Xavier, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for sending me this damn story. It was kind of funny, and kind of sad, and kind of sexy, kind of stupid. But I hope.
Speaking of stupid.
I guess we're back. There was a story that I heard recently and stuff. It was from, I think it was from a story that Tommy Sotomayor found. I really couldn't even find it. I didn't even believe it at first. That was this guy that just was raped to death. Had sex with 6 of his wives. Well, most of his wives, and just dropped dead. That's crazy.
By the way, the video that you sent, Gamer Girl. The guy looks like a maniac. He looks like he's on crack. And, so I don't know. I didn't hear the voice, but he looked kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And,
well, it's 10:17 a.m. right here in the morning roast with DB, Irv, and Ed. And we have Ed's right here on our, on my right. He's filling the seat up for Ant while Ant's away. And, we actually, well, at least till our new guest comes on. Guest for today.
They just let anybody on this show, I see.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, we have David
Cousineau. Believe me.
We have David Cousineau making mayoral candidate here. Thank you very much.
With the big laptop.
Welcome,
yes,
David.
Big laptop.
Hey, I can sing this morning. My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing is huge. But we can see you.
There you go.
Welcome. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much. Had a great time in Florida.
Tell Rosalind doesn't know who that is. She can't see.
Oh, this is David Cousineau, and he is running for mayor here in the city of Macon.
Macon, Georgia.
Yeah.
Macon.
By the way, you were mentioned in some article.
Just
finally. Yeah, it was put on Facebook, actually. But the candidates that are running, and they were saying, what each one stands for. And then I know who put it out. It was Al Tillman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put out, he said, what do you think of these mayoral candidates? And I put out, well, I would put my bet on David Kushner because most of the ideas have been stolen by some of the other candidates. Well, he eliminated that because he says, we're not going to argue here, blah, blah, blah. And the instruction was one sentence. So I came back and one sentence I said, David Kushner's ideas were stolen by the other candidates. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
And I left it at that. And then he sent me a message saying, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, I was like, it's okay. I don't take it personally. But by the way, no, he's not a Democrat.
He's a Republican.
He is a Republican, but independent.
We had a nonpartisan election.
Nonpartisan.
So there's no Democrats, no Republicans, and no ducks.
Yeah. Actually, his parents, the interesting thing is his parents were Democrats, but David has a picture of him being a baby. And he had a cake with an elephant on it. So I guess that's the reason why he became a Republican. It was the first thing he saw.
If you Facebook my picture, you'll see me there. My 1-year-old picture. Mama made me a cake with an elephant on it. But the whole story of that is, the way I looked at it as growing up as an adult, businessmen are usually Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Blue collar workers. Wait a minute. I gotta check. Yeah, I think I got a blue collar on today. Or what? Democrats. So I know what a Democrat is, and I know what a Republican is. But I'm neither or, to tell you the honest truth. The way the political parties are these days, it's nothing but corruption.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I was about to ask you about that. I mean, because having that elephant, does that mean that you're a Republican or you have a fondness for pachyderms or something?
Yeah. All right, by the way, my brother Edward asked, my brother Edward is on, by the way, David, and he asked if you are pro-Constitution.
Pro-Constitution.
Do you defend the Constitution?
Yes, I defend the Constitution. If you know anything about the Knights of Columbus, we are the defender of the Constitution in the Bill of Rights and for the United States of America for being an independent country and nation and for its freedom. So yes, I'm more than just a defender of the Constitution as being a knight.
All right, anybody else? Volker Biden, we've already said, he is a Republican, and that's conservative. I would say David is conservative. I believe personally, this is my opinion, that David is conservative, but he's also level-headed. He's not kind of like these Republicans that are just like, get rid of this, get rid of that. How's the government going to function? And no matter what anybody says about anti-socialism behavior, this government in itself, the bedrock of this government is a socialist society where, look at the military. That's almost a socialist institution. They're being paid by the government. You take a look at just everywhere you go right now. Everything is really being helped by the government. The government supports the banks. The government owns the banks at this point. They bought out all the banks. Everything is socialism. And everybody that pretends to be anti-socialist is probably living off some kind of socialist program. So let's cut the bullshit.
Okay, there's a lot of questions down here. If we want to get done with this segment.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do some of them on here. David, do you support or oppose gun control? Of course, I don't support gun control. I support as far as, background checks and everything else. We have a right to bear arms, and that means we should bear arms. And those that are capable of carrying an arm, that's the reason why this nation has not been conquered over, because we have the ability to defend ourselves.
All right, Volker says, David, if mayor, would you support or oppose Agenda 21? What is that?
I'd have to look it up. What Agenda 21 is.
Well, you'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Next question. David, if mayor, would you support or oppose the consolidation of the police?
It's already been consolidated. There's no opposing or not opposing of it. They're all going into the sheriff department. It's up to the sheriff to decide who who goes on the department or who doesn't go on the department according to their qualifications.
Okay.
They qualify as a deputy sheriff. So there's no questions if I oppose or disoppose. It was approved, so it has to go.
All right, a Volbobite again. David, if mayor, would you support or oppose Obamacare?
You mean Obama flop?
Okay, there you have it. Donnie Curry, David, would you protect parents' rights to raise their kids as they seem fit within reason?
Spare the rod, spare the child, whatever it is.
So you spare the rod and spoil the child.
You got it, yeah. You don't do it, no.
And do you support or oppose gun control?
Do I now?
It says, do you, wait a minute.
Something about gun control.
Do you support or oppose gun control?
I don't support gun control whatsoever. Like I said, they need to have background checks on every person that has the gun control, but it shouldn't be registered in of who has guns and who doesn't. If you have it, yes, learn how to use your weapon.
Okay.
If any basic technique, even as martial arts or anything else, you learn how to protect yourself. You learn how to use your weapon. Otherwise, you'll get killed by your own weapon.
All right. Volbobite, once again, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, how do you define someone who should not have the right to own a firearm?
I was reading something else. I'm sorry, Irvin.
How do you define someone who should not have a firearm? What would be a good reason for you for somebody not to have one?
A mentally handicapped person.
Mentally handicapped.
Mentally handicapped.
Yes. But how would you determine that? Some people go through mental illness for a little while and get better.
Well, again, if you can't use or control your weapon, or if you can't even drive a car, if you're unable to get up in the morning and do anything, then how can you handle a weapon that would be able to kill somebody? I mean, a knife can kill somebody, yes, but something that puts a projectile out, 100 yards, 200 yards, or whatever it is.
A second.
Yeah, per second. You don't put that type of deadly weapon in front of a person that can't handle it. And how do you define it? It's just like I say, if you can't get up out of the bed on your own, or if you're sucking in from the government because you're mentally handicapped, you've already proven to yourself that you're mentally handicapped.
Yes.
So that would be the person that would not be able to have a gun or convicted felon.
All right, I got a question for you from Jews, by the way. David, would you go to a gay pool party if invited? If so, what kind of shorts would you wear? If not, why not?
Let's put it this way.
I love that question.
And why do you love it? Because you
it's funny.
I've been to a gay pool party before. And
there you go.
So that gives you the answer on it. And I've been to many different pool parties in my lifetime. I don't see anything, that would hinder me, but yet I would not participate on the activities that go on.
All right. Volbobite, once again, David, your answer to police consolidation leads me to believe that you will blindly follow all dictates from the federal government.
No, it's not blindly, just what was that going in on?
Dun, dun, dun. That's the question.
Yes, I know, really.
As I said before, when I was voting for consolidation and against consolidation, this was the biggest ordeal that came up, is when you don't have the control over the police department, or the police department don't have the control of what they need to do. The sheriff has the ability, under their laws, they're different against the police laws.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we force our police department to follow underneath the mandate of a sheriff department? These things were not sought out after before the consolidation bill was passed.
Right.
That's why I was against the consolidation bill, if people really look at it.
Right.
These were the things that I was talking about. And look at the mess that we are in. And the same people want to control this government that voted for the consolidated bill. Look at the mess they put us into.
Yeah.
We've got to have a person that's at the top, like I say, myself, to get in there and look at it at detail. What is law and what is not law? They don't care. They're just throwing it in as a mass.
Right.
And they're saying, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it this way and this way only. To me, that is, like he says, it's against the federal laws. You can't do that.
Make sure you're looking at the camera. We have Rosa Nicole on, who reads lips.
All right.
By the way, speaking, the Gamer Girl asked a question. We were talking about bipolarism a few days ago. And she asked you, David, do you think that being bipolar is a choice?
How can a disease be a choice?
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay.
It's like saying is measles a choice,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
whooping cough is a choice, or is cancer a choice?
Yeah.
You know.
By the way,
You're bipolar. I mean, you know.
Gamer also has another question.
Go.
How about making it a point for your police department or law enforcement officers to be equipped with tasers?
They should be equipped with tasers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and why?
Plain and simple. Why?
Yeah.
It's a non-deadly weapon, unless if you have heart problems or anything of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, a taser is like I say, it's a non-killing item. So.
Well, yeah, actually, that was one of the things that I was fighting about, and I mentioned in City Hall, and I'll probably mention it again, is why has not City Hall passed a mandate?
Gamer Girl says thank you.
So that every police officer has a taser. Right now, a few of them carry them.
Well, you got to remember that our police department is going to be, dissolved in, another 6 months from now?
Yes.
So why should we sit here and spend all the money on buying tasers when they're going to fall underneath the mandate of a sheriff department? Yeah, we got a few more months to go, and, you know, I hate to say that, you know, if the ones that have the guns and the ones that have the tasers, use what you have, you know, with common sense. And don't go jumping out of a car when you know a person's 300 and some odd pounds, and then expect to not have any confrontation in there.
Okay. Very good. Rosa Nicole asks, David, what are you going to do for the deaf community where you are?
What do we do for the deaf community say that again now?
And he says, what are you going to do for the community who is deaf? Well, you know, where you are.
Okay.
What would you do for them?
Okay. You got deaf and you got blind people also. You know, that's fully in this community.
Well, she's asking about deaf people. She's not blind.
I know. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we have both. So, you know, when they got that type of handicap, why can't we as a government bring in some of the people that are able to put the devices there so that they can understand what's going on in our meetings?
Mm-hmm.
We have that, like I say, the School for the Blind. So why can't it be teletyped or whatever it is for the people for the blind, as well as somebody that's deaf that has the sign language for these people to read what's going on into the community?
Right.
It's not really a cost factor. The people are out there, and there's probably more people willing to do that for that community than to sit there and say, well, you know, what are you going to do about it? My administration would have that for you so that you know exactly what's going on into the government, because I'd be involved with you to make sure that it is there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the way, Rosa Nicole, is being gay a choice?
Yes.
There you have it. Very simple. Anthony will Anthony will explain to you that bipolar is a choice.
She has problems reading your lips because you're a mustache.
Mustache. Would you like me to trim it better?
Probably.
Read this.
Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, but I'm still. There you go.
All right. Donnie Curry says, David, do you believe if a parent disciplines their child, they should lose the rights to bear arms? It depends. In my opinion, it depends on how bad you're disciplining your kid. If you're a child abuser, I think you should lose your right.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Again, that's abuse. If you have abuse in any of your background record, if you have any criminal type background, you cannot get a weapons permit anymore. So all those things are eliminated by the questions you ask. If you have a record, you're not going to get your license to carry.
Okay.
Now, if you have one in your home, you have a right to defend your home. I mean, that'd be a gray law.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
Well, Robert Biden, I'm going to comment on your comment about the 300-pound man, which is what Sammy Davis Jr.
No,
was.
I disagree. Lost of a vote there. Somebody said something about lost vote. He has the right way around. Yeah, almost attend.
Morning Rush, we got a call.
I disagree. Lost
Who's
vote
this?
there. That must be about the.
All right, Donnie.
When I said
hold on.
Gay is a choice.
Donnie Curry.
Okay.
His fifth call today. Go ahead, Donnie.
Hey, I I want to clarify my statement. When I say discipline my children, it's the basic idea of discipline, not abuse. Abuse is abuse. Discipline is putting your children and letting them know that what they're doing is wrong. If talking to them, timeouts, all the other psychological jargon that you can think of does not work. When you, like here in Nevada, the reason why I ask you this question because we're contemplating possibly moving to Georgia, and if we do, I don't want to have to worry about the same crap that I'm dealing with here. Here in Nevada, I got 3 years of probation and a year suspended sentence for giving my kids 2 swats on the butt for flooding our house. Okay, and now I can't own a firearm due to the fact that it's considered a domestic child abuse charge, even though the day that I went on probation, they passed the law in the state of Nevada, January 26th of 1999, that you can spank your kid with an open hand. After they charged me with it, and now the damage is done. So, you know, my concerns are, if for politicians, is that are they going to protect the parent? You know, you did mention spare the rod, spoil the child. But the thing is that I don't get that choice here in Nevada because they're definitely a do as I say, not as I do mentality here. So that's what I was clarifying. Just that I'm not saying discipline as in child abuse because I do not abuse my children. Spanking is not abuse when you do it within reason.
Amen.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for the call, Donnie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the call.
By the way, there are some other people. Yurak mentioned something that I think should be noted here, and I want you to be able to answer this question if you can, if I could find it. No, it was a long question about people with mental illness that have never shown any kind of violence. There it is.
Yes, if you are considered to have a psychological condition, should you be able to own a gun even if you have never been homicidal or suicidal? Please explain where you draw the line. Who would make the call?
That's already been in the law. If you have any of those conditions, you can't own a gun. Period. I mean, that's a federal law. That's not the federal law overrules any state or city or municipality law. So you're not able to own it.
Well, Vorberbite, according to him, says, Jason, he's talking to somebody else, but the United States Constitution says otherwise and does not exclude mental or felons. What do you say about that?
Well, again, that'd be a constitutional issue. That would be, that would actually go to the Supreme Court.
That's a dicey, ain't it?
Yeah. Right. So,
yeah. That's why he says everybody should be allowed to have guns and there shouldn't be any exclusion.
Well, provided they're, not crazy.
Right. I mean,
So what is this?
Like I said, that's your gray line. I mean, if you have one in your home and you're defending your home, everybody has a right to defend their home. But you bring it on the outside, and even people that have the ability to use the gun correctly still use it incorrectly, as we have found out here in Macon. So, because you have other ways to defend yourself than putting a bullet through a person's chest.
Right.
Well, D.B. Cooper says, according to Vorberbite, all school shooters should have and still have the right to own their gun.
If you own a gun, you own a gun. I mean, it's just bringing it out in the streets. What are you defending when you're going out in the streets? You have a right to defend your home, or your car is an extension of your home. So there's a question that was up here, and we need to go back to it. It says something about in Macon. It says something about you lost my vote. Is it because a person has a choice to decide, just like you have a choice to decide who to vote for or not.
Right.
To me, if I want to sit here and I want to kiss this guy like this or whatever, that's a choice to do that.
Who's saying that, by the way? Who's saying that?
In Macon, whatever in Macon.
Oh, Alan Macon. Yeah, so he's from Macon.
Yeah, in Macon. That's a choice and a decision. Rather, that's a vote, I allow that to happen. It's your right and your privilege to do that.
Well,
he asked a simple question.
What was the
believe it or
question that
not.
he asked?
You asked a question, do you believe it's a choice to be gay? And I said, I believe it is a choice to be gay or to be a lesbian. Because just like I say, I have a choice to either kiss somebody or not to kiss somebody. And who I kiss is who I kiss.
Well, it's more than just kissing.
But it's not as simple. It's not as simple as that, David. Come on.
It's an emotion.
Now,
it's an emotion.
It's an emotional, mental shit going on there. Look, when you look at a woman and you're lusting after her and you're thinking about her and you want to bang her, it's the same shit happens with people who are gay. And they're not going to sit there in their mind and go, oh, I need to stop this. I need to stop this. I can make this go away. Just like you can't. Unless you use, you're saying, oh, God, forgive me. Right. And, I shouldn't be thinking this because it's not ungodly. But I'm not talking about bringing somebody else into the equation. I'm talking about personally, in your own thinking, in your own mind, can you really stop yourself from doing that?
Yes, I believe you can.
And
it's a behavior.
Okay. Do you believe, David, that if you made a choice to become gay, that you would be gay?
Yes.
Dave,
if I made that choice to do it, yes.
For example, now, Oprah once said that it may be 100% biological if any a person being gay or straight or bisexual. Now, do you think a person can be 100%? Or do you think it's I think it's just a factor. It's not the only factor. There's a whole lot of factors, but if you say that this is a choice, then it really can't be 100%
correct
biological.
Right.
But what are the other factors like developmental, as in like not necessarily biological per se, because you have say you have grapes, some grapes become grape juice, some become fermented and become wine. That's not really biological. That's just cause and effect, I
got a better example. I mean, look, there are people who are born with a heart condition. Mm-hmm. There are people who are born, let's say, you have a mental condition. There are people who are born with all these conditions. Why can't it be that people are born with this condition where they're female, because the male, the embryo doesn't start developing a sexual orientation, so what it's going to become.
So like what, the fourth month?
Like the fourth or the fifth trimester, right?
4th month, yeah, because there's 3 trimesters.
Right, whatever. That's what I meant to say. Whatever.
That's all right.
But anyway, the point is that they don't develop. And who's to say that thing goes a little wacky and it goes in the other direction? There's right now a boy, we talked about it about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where this baby was born with 2 organs. And they decided to make it into a girl. They cut off the penis and made it into a girl. But yet, inside, that person feels like a boy.
Well, look at, what is it? Gosh, I can't even. Sydney and Cher, Child.
Formerly Chastity, now Chaz.
Chaz, yeah. Look at that. The same situation. Girl turns into a boy.
Because Chastity, when he was known as Chastity, she was a lesbian. Then he had sex change to become a man.
Mm-hmm. So.
And she looks like a man now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's freaking believable.
Hey, look up Chastity.
He's sounding like Anthony.
Truth be told, there really wasn't any change.
Oh, there you go.
There wasn't really any change facially speaking because
there you go.
If this is Donnie Curry, I'm going to hang up on you. Okay, here we go. Hello, Morning Rose. Hi, Dolly. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice. It's Gamer Girl, right? Yep. All right, hold on. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit confused, Irving. Were you not gay at one point, though?
Yes, I saw your question as I'm looking at you. Yes, I was, but it is by choice that I do not want to indulge in that lifestyle. It is by choice that I don't want to get married again. But it is not by choice for me to lose those feelings. I mean, I still have those emotions and feelings, and they exist. But remember, I was also bisexual, so I can have it with either way. I get it in stereo. But I'm serious. As far as the gay, you know, I see somebody who's attractive, and I look at them and I go, wow, you know, he's really attractive. But I just don't, I made a choice not to live that kind of lifestyle because it has never benefited me. And as a matter of fact, being married to a woman has benefited me much more than being, you know, going out with a guy here and there.
Okay, so you believe that you are born that way, though. You don't believe it's a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that those, you know, as growing up as a child, I had, well, I'll tell you a story very briefly that I think really set it off. And that was when I was about 2.5, 3 years old. Edward Mamper may remember the story because he was in Coney Island with us. My mother somehow lost track of me, and I got lost in Coney Island. And there was this young man who was light-skinned. He probably was Puerto Rican, who the hell knows. But he was a light-skinned black guy, picked me up, and started to try to calm me down. And he's, you know, like patting my head and kissing my head and trying to calm me down. And I never forgot that. I always wanted to see that guy again. I always wanted to, you know, and that's what I became attracted to. And so I think some of it could be environmental. But I also believe that I had those traits within me anyway, and that they were set off by that. So some of it may be choice, but it depends. And some of it may be environmental, but it depends. And some of them, what I believe is most of them, everybody has the ability to become gay at any choice because you still have the emotions and the feelings behind it. I mean, you take a look. Even guys that are jocks, guys that are strong, they like other guys that are strong and jocks. And believe me, if they take their clothes off, the first thing they do is look at the guy's penis and they look at the guy's chest and they probably sit there going, whoa, that's pretty cool. I mean, where does that come from?
Okay, I just wanted to clear it up. Just wanted to get your opinion.
Did you get your answer right? What do you think he answered? He had a long, dragged out. So you think it's still a choice, or do you think it was something that was birthright?
I think you're born with it. I don't think it's a choice. I don't think you can choose. I think, you know, because, you know, I don't ever remember thinking back to a time where I was choosing whether I wanted to be gay or straight. You know, I just always knew that I liked men. You see what I'm saying? So I think you're born that way.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Anything else you want to add? We love your voice.
Nice to hear from you again.
It's always good to hear from Game Ago. By the way, she has a show.
Does she? Okay.
God bless you, sweetheart.
Okay, bye, guys.
See ya.
Hey,
Bye.
I just posted a link there real quick for Corporal Bite. There's a new thing out there instead of Viagra that they got. It's a little thing, and actually it shocks. You know, to give you an erection, it shocks.
Electrical shocking. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, I'm up there, Dave.
By the way, this is a good question.
How you doing, Coffee Guy? Coffee Guy, how you doing, Coffee Guy? Just want to say hello to Coffee Guy. Yes, your brother's out, so he'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, Vorp. Yeah, you're really flooding the thing, but your questions are good. That's why I'm paying attention to them. David, as mayor, would you support or oppose gay rights like gay marriage?
You have a right. This is a free nation.
There you go.
There you go.
Let me see. All right, guys, keep going. I took a Viagra. I'm not gonna even. I'm not even gonna entertain that, Vorp. By the way, OL says totally agree. My brother's a neurologist, and his ex-partner was a bi, and he didn't try to confuse my brother, but it ended.
Ed, I think you mean wanting to plug in the, get a plug for this computer. Yeah, it says better powers.
It's about to die.
But as I said, I believe it is biologically you could be born that way. I just don't think it's 100%. It's a factor. I just don't think it's the factor.
Well, what about these people who were born and they're men, but they are so effeminate in all their ways? They didn't take any kind of drugs for it. They didn't take any hormone, whatever, estrogen shots or whatever they call them. Mm-hmm. They didn't do any of that. But they look more like a girl than a girl does.
Well, maybe.
What do you think? You think that's mental?
Well, maybe that's not them. That's probably their parents. It's probably some gene that they probably passed.
But that's what I'm saying. Going back to
genetic. Yeah, that goes into genetic.
Right.
But again.
But you say that it's choice.
But then again, like I say, we have what? The medical technology. Do you want to be this way or that way? What does your body chemistry produce? Male hormones or female hormones? So again, you can make it still as a choice of whatever your body compounds are. But it's not what the government says is it legal or not legal. See, this is where this person says, well, you lost my vote. Why would you lose a vote when a person is sitting here telling you that, it's a choice and the government should stay out of your personal business? It's your business what you do in your own home, whether you want to bonk a man on a man or a woman on a woman or 5 men or 10 men or whatever it is. The government shouldn't be into your private business. Right. Nor should the government be taking care of your private business. The government is to take care of the infrastructure of our nation and to protect our nation. And that's where we've been going wrong, because we got in the personal affairs of the people. As it said, the defender of the Constitution, you take care of the Constitution and the right. If you want training or whatever it is, that's why we have the right to bear arms to go against our government. But our government wants to take it away, so you don't have the right to go against the government.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with so much, homegrown terrorism.
Right.
But by the way, Ortel says, listen, there are some people in this world called
hermaphrodites.
Hermaphrodites. And they look totally like a girl and have 2 rows of genitals.
Yeah, male and female, yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I mean, that sometimes it's not a choice.
That's a medical fluke, or whatever it is. You were born that way. So
yeah, but why is it different with people who are gay and you declare them, they made a choice, but that guy physically...
Okay, Arvin, we'll go back to the same thing on a debate or whatever it is. You still decided a choice whether you want to go with a man or a woman.
Right. But it doesn't mean that in my brain that is gone. It's still there. It's just I refuse to indulge in it.
That's a feeling.
But look,
it's more than a feeling.
If I could intervene here, just one question.
Yes.
Now there have been some times where people experiment in college with either with the same sex or with the opposite sex. Now the thing is, that's why I say it's when it comes to biologically speaking, your sexuality is determined. I say it's only just a factor, not the factor. Maybe 85 to 90% biologically determined. I don't think it's actually 100%, because it's 100%. Why would you experiment? Why would you want to experiment? I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose. You wouldn't want to. You couldn't, and if you did, you couldn't change it, no matter how much experiments you would have. You see, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Right, Sabuki or whatever, good thing. You don't choose to be gay, but you could choose not to partake in the lifestyle, but why should you?
Right, and that's the point I'm trying to make. That you could be born with the predisposition of liking men, right, or women, but you do have a choice whether you're going to indulge in that lifestyle. That's the choice part of it. But I'm not talking, and I believe Ellen Macon's not talking about the choice part of it in that term, but more like the first term, which is, can you get rid of the feelings? Can you get rid... Look, you can probably subside them, but I'm telling you, they will always be there. They will always be there. And you can go years and years and years where you don't feel anything because you're almost asexual. But you put a naked guy in front of that guy or girl, or a naked woman in front of that girl who was, what I say, born with a predisposition for the same sex, They're not going to stand there and lie to themselves and go, I'm not getting, aroused over this.
Well, it's like I say, I've been single now for 24 years.
Yeah.
I have a choice to either go with a person or not. And that choice of going with whatever sex I want or not with whatever sex I want. So it is a choice on my factor. It's a willpower to say no, or it's a willpower to say yes. Mm-hmm. Do I give in to that feeling? Do I give in to that emotion? It's up to me of that decision. But again, it's not up to the government to decide for me what my decision is. Big difference. Mm-hmm. Are we talking about a lifestyle? Are we talking about behavior? Or are we talking about scientific factors that a person is born with? So you can put all those things together into one and saying, well, gay is gay. Well, there's all the different things. That's like saying a car is a car. Well, no, I got a Lincoln Town car. I got a 1932 car or whatever it is.
Packard.
Packard or whatever it is. They're not the same thing.
Does it run on gas? Does it run on diesel? Does it run on ethanol? Does it run on...
Or does it run on electric, like these new electric cars are? Or does it run on solar energy? There's different factors. Don't mix your factors up. How do we help the person that has this type, if you're homophobic or if you're gay or if you're, define yourself. Be that person and be that person all the way. Don't skip and bounce. It's just like a Christian saying, well, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus is my true Lord and Savior. Then you go out and get drunk every night and portray yourself as a drunkard. That's wrong, because people are looking at you as a hypocrite. Right. Or you're sitting there cussing and swearing all the time and you're calling yourself a Christian. That's not what a Christian attitude is. Yeah. Another Christian brother will come up to you and say, stop, you need to stop.
Okay. Immortal says, I would like to add that marriage is a contract between sides. You can't forbid two men or two women making a contract a legal paper just because God says it's wrong. It's a legal infringement to deny a contract to be made because God opposes. Vorpalbite says, I do not care who you sleep with, but I will get violent when they attempt to force it on the church/society. And Vorpalbite says, tolerance is the last virtue of a dying society. Let's see. Ellen Megan says, but David, you're not attracted to a guy. Some are. Gamer Girl also says, I think they should be able to unionize or whatever, but a marriage to me is between a man and a woman. And Ella says, I have been hit on by gals for a lot. Keep your freaking ass away from me. If I want a threesome, I will and done, but it's my choice with my man.
Chai Boogie says, why should one person repress what they feel just to shut people like Vorp up and make them happy?
I think science proves
anyway,
that pagans have
a lot of comments here. Oella says, I have been hit on by gals for a lot. Keep your freaking ass away from me if I want.
I already meant that. Already said that.
Okay. Well.
Says, what? Oh yeah, Vorpalbite says, be careful with your political correctness. You are taking steps towards a civil war.
Please, Vorpalbite. You live in a very strange world. You live in.
Yeah. Well, that's we're in America. In America, you have the freedom to say it. If you were over in Africa, in certain parts of Africa, if you were gay or any of those rights, and it's showing, you'd be a dead man or a dead woman. Mm-hmm. They don't allow it at all.
Or the Middle East.
Right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If human society is to be reproductive. If you're not reproductive in yourself, then something is wrong.
Well, right now, in this day and age, we want less reproduction. The world is running out of space.
No.
Well, not just that, but they made.
I want you to.
I mean, you got reality TV shows on MTV called Teen Mom. It's like, hey, I can get pregnant and have my own show. What is that?
Yeah, really. And then they want to support the morning after pill. Same thing. They want to go ahead and get pregnant, but then they support on this hand the morning after pill. Oh, I don't want to have a baby by that person or whatever else, so they're going to take the pill and get rid of it, whatever. They're double talk again.
A coffee guy is like you, David. He's a Christian. He says, as a society, we are making unacceptable behavior acceptable. Has the pendulum swung in the wrong direction?
It's just opened the doors up. In the last day and time, we'll go back again. The doors that were closed will be open. The open doors will end up being closed. It will be not of the norm. So, you know, God allows all this stuff to happen. And it happens for a purpose. What do we do as a Christian, or what we do as a non-Christian, tells what our behavior is. I'm to love everybody. And I am supposed to be an example to those that, well, I'd say, is against what my beliefs are.
Right.
But not to throw a Bible at you, or thump you with a Bible, or to thump you with a Quran, or to thump you with the Torah, or any of that.
Bhagavad Gita.
Right, any of that. You know, it's to be an example. If you look at a Buddhist or a monk or the ones that are out there, you know, they lead by example. And that's where most Christians fail nowadays. They don't lead by example.
Right.
They lead by hostility.
Absolutely right.
Most religious people in general.
Well, I believe that, you know, we forget, and David, I brought this up to you and you agreed with me, that not all Christians are disciples.
Correct.
But all disciples are Christians.
Right.
And so there's a big, you know, Jesus called them disciples. He didn't call them Christians. Christians came after he was dead. And
yeah, that was basically just a slur that was created by the Romans.
It was a slur,
right,
exactly.
Right, so they could define again.
But they took it on, of course.
Right.
But you know, these so-called Christian people, especially here in Macon, Georgia, they're a bunch of phonies. You know, I was, by the way, David, I was walking down Washington Avenue the other day, and the church was letting out, and I see these people coming out of the church. I won't name it, in order not to humiliate them, but they're coming down, and there's this older couple that look kind of sweet. So I go, "Good morning, how was service today?" That son of a bitch old man gave me the worst dirty look, like a freaking Nazi, and his wife completely ignored me. Now come on, you just came out of a church. Jesus says to talk to the lepers. Even if I was a leper to you stupid asshole man, thank God you're gonna die soon. Why are these people walking out of churches coming out with the worst attitude? You know why? Because church on Sundays is one of the most racist times during the week. Black churches, white churches, Indian churches, Korean churches. Yeah. That's not what the Bible teaches, folks.
And plus, you got to remember how much money he put in
and the clean box, right.
Get some money with.
I swear to God.
I'm kidding.
If you want to come visit Macon, we have the best churches in the nation. We have over 600 churches. So if you don't want...
Yet still have crime.
You got plenty of time to visit. We can keep you here for many years just visiting churches. So that's my... You know, this is a vacation town. Come vacation. Come to our churches. We have them from anywhere from the Satan churches all the way up to our so-called Christian churches, to Jewish churches, to Buddhist temples. We have them all here, right here in Macon, Georgia. We even have Islamic temples, Muslim we got them here. Come visit. See what Macon's all about. It's a diverse city, so we've got everything that you want. Don't run away from it. We got to have somebody that can lead the city into a place where there's no more crime. Yeah. That's the problem that we have here in Macon, is the crime. If the churches start taking care of the weakest link, like they're supposed to, instead of building churches and building themselves, we wouldn't have the crime here in Macon, Georgia.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that's a good segue, because we're already at 11:02. We're going to close out with our daily bread, although we never did Wordsmith today.
No, we didn't.
So why don't we do Wordsmith very quickly? Let David read it.
I always give out the page number and a number.
There you go.
Today is the 5th day, 21st. So go
21st of May.
The what now?
21st of May.
21st. Go page 21, number 5.
21. All right. And you're going to read it, right, Dave?
I'll see what the word is. I'll look at the word and then pass it down. I love doing it that way.
21 and then entry number 5. Okay.
All right, here we go. Sorry, Donnie.
3, 4, 5. 5. All right, here we go.
Oh my goodness, what is this word going to be today? Amaze. Wow.
Amaze.
Amaze.
Wow. How about that?
We are amazed
okay.
today.
I guess you want
I'm kind of amazed that our show went okay today.
I don't have my glasses.
We've been in the number one spot the whole time.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Amazed. Yeah, wow, we were amazed at that.
I'm amazed at it.
How about
Maybe
that?
I'm amazed. All right,
Old English,
please don't
Old
say
English Amazian, A-M-A-S-I-A-N, means stupefy or stun, with perhaps some reminiscence of an original sense, stunned by hitting on the head, still adhering to it. Some apparently related forms of Scandinavian languages, such as Swedish masa, M-A-S-A, be sluggish, and the Norwegian dialect masast, M-A-S-A-S-T, become unconscious. Some suggest that it may originally have been borrowed from Old Norse. The modern sense astonished did not develop until the end of the 16th century. Shakespeare was one of its earliest exponents. Crystal Eyes, whose perfection of all the world amazes, from Venus and Adonis, 1592. By the end of the 13th century, both the verb and its related noun had developed a form without initial A, and in the late 14th century, the word maze had begun to be applied to a deliberate, confusing structure. So that's today's word of the day by Dictionary of Word Origins by John A2. Amaze.
Fry some bacon. All right, we're going to go right into our daily bread. And tell me, David, at the end of this reading, how does this connect with what we were talking about? If there is one. If there's none, it's okay.
What, how does amaze?
How does it connect? How does it connect to what we were talking about? It's kind of like, you ever go through some really challenging time and you decide to open up your Bible and bam, it hits you right there? I want to see if it does that to you today.
Gamer Girl already says, and go figure, the show had actual substance. Yeah. Amazing, huh?
Amazing. That is amazing. All right, it's called, our title of today for May 21st, 2003, our daily bread is called Not Abandoned. And this is written by Cindy Hess Casper. Years ago, while my husband and I were visiting the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., he noticed a baby stroller by itself with no one nearby. We assumed that the parents had left it there because it was too bulky and were now carrying their child. But as we approached, we saw the baby sleeping inside. Where was a parent, a sibling, a babysitter? We hung around for quite some time before hailing a museum official. No one had shown up to claim that precious child. The last we saw of him, he was being wheeled away to a safe place. That experience made me think about what it's like to be abandoned. It's an overwhelming feeling that no one cares anything about you. It's also real and excruciating painful feeling. But even though people may abandon us, God's love and His presence is assured. The Lord promised us that He will never leave us, Deuteronomy 31:8. And that He will be with us wherever we go, always even to the end of the age, Matthew 28:20. The Lord will never falter in His commitment to His children, even if we have abandoned by others. We can find confidence in His promise that nothing will ever separate us from His love, Romans 8:35-39. Father, thank you for your never-ending, failing presence in every aspect of our lives. We count on your promise never to abandon us. Please teach us to rest in that truth. In Jesus' name, amen. Be confident in God's presence and that His presence is our comfort. I will not forget you. See, I have inscribed you in the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49, verse 15-16.
Yes.
There you have it.
It's 11:07. Just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for keeping us on top of the Vaughn charts. It's 77 degrees and sunny right outside of Macon, Georgia, with a high of 88 and a low of 67. Want to thank all our guests, all our mods. Want to thank David Cusino for coming by. Want to thank our mods, Because77, City Bump, Boogie, thanks for staying with us. Donnie Curry, Edward Mampa, Vorpal Bite, Yurick Wildcat, Gamer Girl, Ellen Macon, the Three Bears, the Coffee Guy, and Tower London. How about that?
Full house, baby. Thank you, guys.
And with
we
our new
love you.
chatters, DB Cooper, Mr. Dumpster Baby, Oella, Sarah's Clit, Strange Place, Immortal, and Jews, and also what was the guy, DB Cooper? Yeah, he was, and some other people who left earlier, Donnie Curry, who was here earlier, and
he's still here.
Oh, he's still here. Okay, well, there was another person I forget. Oella, yes, that's what it was, and Three Bears.
Oella's still here.
Okay. Who's the one who left? Was it somebody?
There was some others. Yeah, you're right. There was his.
DS Photo guy. I think he was.
And we had some people that I never heard of.
Yes.
But
I want to say thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Broken Shovel.
Yeah, be sure that didn't have any sports really. Just basically the game 2 of the conference between the Memphis Grizzlies and San Antonio Spurs, 9 o'clock tonight. I think either on TNT or ESPN. Check your cable listings to see it's playing in your area. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow on the Morning Roast live.
Thanks, guys. We love you. Have a good day.
Excuse me.
Have a good day, and it's okay to be gay.
Wake up, Anthony Spoils your show.
You gonna leave it on, huh? You gonna leave it all on?
I do record it.
Can I read real quick? Because
Three
we
Bears,
are a public service announcement. Can I read Learn Gun Safety with
Eddie Eagle?
With Eddie Eagle.
Learn gun safety with Eddie Eagle.
Oh, okay, but you're gonna have to pretend to be Eddie Eagle.
Okay, how about Derek and I do this with? We'll pick characters to do. You do a couple characters. I do.
It's not long, and then I look at the page and it's like
no, but it's gonna be funny because in a way, what it is we are teaching. We're doing something positive for the youth.
Okay.
But also, we're kind of making fun of probably how propaganda.
No, and I love it.
is.
Remember, I told you I wanted to do some skits on the show.
Yeah. Well, remember when I read the Lost Band Dr. Seuss book at Roasted? Remember that about I'm gonna go run and play with the Marines and all that shit.
Right.
Well, let's do Learn Gun Safety. Okay. You want to do Eddie Eagle, Derek?
Is there a third character?
Yeah, but we got to pass this crap around. How about Irvin? You do Eddie Eagle, and Irvin and I will do the kids.
Okay.
All right.
I do Eddie Eagle?
Yes.
Okay.
Learn gun safety with Eddie Eagle.
There you go.
The attic. Off I flew to spot an upper room with children to play, and I zoomed. Kids in attic having fun. And in that attic I see a gun.
Your grandma's attic is full of cool stuff.
Yeah!
Look! One of her old hats!
Do you see the hidden danger? Some of what you find.
I see it! A gun.
Stop! Don't touch! There's danger for you. When you spot a gun, here's what to do. Go and tell what you found. A gun shouldn't be left lying around. What should you do? Circle the correct picture. A. Touch it. B. Leave it alone. Or C. Find an adult. The safe ending of the story is the one I want to see.